Welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity, a podcast about Dungeons and Dragons, all things tabletop, and board games. So three things are the same thing. And with me, as usual, Andrew.
Well, I mean, they're not. Oh, hi. Sorry. Hi, I'm Andrew. I got sidetracked already.
Wow, this is a great start.
Well, I'm just saying D&D and tabletop. Sometimes, it could be different.
You could be a digital tabletop.
Yeah, we could talk about Neverwinter Nights. That's not a tabletop game. It's actually a solo RPG for the computer. So, I mean,
you're right. You are very right.
Or the latest Baldur's Gate game,
which I still haven't played because I haven't finished it. It's still in early access. Anyways,
or we talk about that animated short about Dritz Do'Urden,
which is amazing. Oh, we got to talk about that. Anyways,
narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. What the fuck's his name?
Benedict
Cabbage Patch?
Cumberface?
Yeah.
So for those of you that just dropped out right now because of this,
Benedict Chrysanthemum. Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh man. Today we're talking about the most wonderful feeling in the world when you finish a campaign, a year-long campaign. Well, in this case, it was like 8 months. But that's what we're talking about today. And let's play that magnificent bumper that I made. So shut the fuck up, Andrew.
I'm going to hold my breath. So after that brutal assault by the Orc warrior, the initiative now goes to you. Jose, what do you do?
I'm gonna cast yeah, look at that. And Andrew didn't die.
Oh my god, which one was that?
That was a short one.
Ah.
we gotta move you up to the long one, the one that takes like 3 hours.
it's just
the extended cut.
The stream cuts back to a corpse.
We should do that one day. Just put it a skeleton.
That'll be for the Halloween episode. Whoa, spooky.
Right, Andrew. So we're talking about a lot of things today. We're gonna do a small review of a Descent into Avernus. We're going to feature only for our podcast listeners, not the live, but the regular podcast. We're gonna feature a interview with our players that is gonna be edited in post production.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. We're also gonna talk about how we feel after a campaign, what we do.
The guy that's playing the main character couldn't make it. Don't worry, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, not a single tripod inside. Anyways, so we have a full episode for you guys today. But before we get to all that, we're gonna talk about what gives us the fuel to play. By the way, it's like
let's start this after party.
It's almost noon. Yeah. What are you drinking today, Andrew?
I am drinking. Speaking to the mic, Andrew. I am drinking Edmund Oast Brewing Company's Bound by Time IPA.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's fancy. Oh shit, that the price tag's still on there. It's $5 for this one. So.
I am drinking a Vesa Sur. I went to Miami the other weekend. Went to a brewery. I tried their stuff, their flight. It was amazing, all of them. Sadly, to take home, they only had a couple of them, and the best one for me was the Mangolandia, which is a play in words because people usually call the United States Gringolandia, like Gringoland. Yeah, so it's Mangolandia. I have a feeling that this is owned by Venezuelans only because they use the Vesa instead of cerveza. That's like a thing. So, but I'm not sure. Look at this little. Look at this cock. Look at this.
and we just got kicked off.
We just got demonetized.
Oh my god, I love the smell of a good IPA where it's like kind of piney and like kind of sappy.
Dude, did I tell you about they had 3 IPAs. The one that I like the most, man, this is a small bottle. Fucking Venezuelans always. Anyways, they had a grapefruit IPA, which is pretty good, but then they had a blood orange IPA, which was just the best. And then they had a South Coast IPA, which was also pretty good too. But the blood, because you would think like blood orange will like be very like tardy, like, but it had such a good like citrusy flavor profile without taking away from the IPA feel. It was really good.
So anything citrusy is a really good balance for an IPA because there's something about it. It really just kind of rides that wave. So
yeah, hecha in Miami. That means it's made in Miami.
This is actually is this a East Coast IPA? Because it kind of tastes like it.
Drink.
Charleston, South Carolina. No, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
it might be.
So yes, cheers to completing another campaign. Congratulations.
Roast.
Well, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yes, we did it.
I did it, yeah. I'm so tired, Andrew. I've been trying to put face, but I'm so tired right now.
Dude,
Anyways,
you don't have to play. You can rest now. I'm trying to touch your chest through the computer screen.
Try to touch my chest. Try.
We did it, Mr. Stark. We won.
Oh wait, wrong movie.
Oh no, that's the wrong franchise.
All right, so the topic for today, Andrew: post-campaign stress disorder.
No, that's the wrong movie too. Sorry, we watched Wonder Woman 84, and apparently I was the only person in the universe that actually enjoyed it.
You liked it?
It was okay. I
Okay.
mean, like it was.
No, I can't. I'm out. So sorry.
No, you have to understand when it's a DC movie, I'm just like, okay, turn my brain off and like don't like it. I went into it with the same mentality going into Mortal Kombat. I'm like, I just want to see some cool action scenes, and that's what I got. So like, I wasn't expecting like.
Do you get?
I actually kind of like Pedro Pascal's character, and how
That was like
just,
probably the only highlight of the fucking movie.
Oh, I mean, that's and he was like in it for like 80% of the movie. So
Life is good, but it could be better.
Could be better.
All right, so we just finished. We just got done with Descent into Avernus, and oh boy, what a trip that was! So let me play this 3-hour-long yearbook movie for you guys.
Where 18 a good
it's like overlay with as we go on we remember. A big chunk of it is like us fighting against Roll20.
Yeah, I'm about to say a good 18 to 20% of it is just us like as like Roll20's crashing and stuff like that.
Oh man. Okay, so let me
the graduating class of 2021. It's like Varric, like most likely to become an angelic semi-deity.
And it fades into him as a deity, but like with the same pose.
Yeah, Quintessa's most likely to be scrapped for spare parts.
Glyph most likely to face down on the dirt.
Most likely to die halfway through the campaign when the player realizes he doesn't enjoy this class.
Yeah. Oren, and it's a picture of just your crock pot, like sealed.
With like the legs sticking out.
more likely to own his own business.
The least successful business in Baldur's Gate. Carpog, most likely to take an axe straight to the face.
Oh man.
Ludovico, most likely to be an embarrassment. God damn it. Why did you even bring him back?
To show you how miserable he would have been. All right. So yes, Descending into Avernus was my 5th campaign, right? If you
and it shows. Anyways.
And wow.
I'm talking about experience, man.
Thanks, man. So we did Lost Mines of Endelbor. That was the first one. Then we jumped straight to Storm King's Thunder. Then we went to
Tomb of Annihilation.
Tomb of Annihilation. That's when you jumped into the group. So we're seeing that. Then we did Waterdeep, which we don't talk about that. Dark times in the group.
That was that. You know,
we're not going back to the Waterdeep, Andrew.
No. It's just the weirdest thing about Waterdeep was that like it was only 40 hours long.
Yeah.
You realize that? That Waterdeep was a work week. Like it was a very short campaign compared to the other ones that were like a year, 8 months, that kind of stuff. So and
then Tomb of Annihilation Descent into Avernus for me, right? And then we have Barovia or Curse of Strahd as a group.
Curse of Strahd after Waterdeep, but before.
Kevin asked us which part would we enjoy the most. We're gonna talk about that. Actually, let's jump right into that. Andrew, out of Oh wait, I think he's talking about the campaign itself. Which one did we enjoy the most?
Oh, wait. Did you want to go over the most enjoyable adventure that we had seen? So I wasn't part for 2/3 of them.
Well,
I would have to say Storm King's Thunder.
Which campaign? He says which campaign. So in for me, because I DM most of them. Well, I DM all of them. I truthfully enjoy the most Tomb of Annihilation. I really like how that one played out. It was fun all the way throughout. The travel was fun to an extent. It could have been a lot more, but that wasn't a big part of it. I think the players really did really had a good time through the whole thing with the reveals and the secrets and the backstabbing of the NPCs and all that kind of stuff. That was great. Also, the last dungeon was just ridiculous, which I loved. Like the dungeon crawl, like 9 levels of dungeon crawl, and like you guys were just like afraid of everything, and then towards the end, you all were so fucking cocky. I think that was a good time.
I really enjoyed playing a cleric during that last bit.
Yeah, you kicked ass in Tomb of Annihilation for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then don't get me wrong, Descent into Avernus was really good, but for some reason, Tomb of Annihilation is fresh there for me still. So out of all of those, that's what I've enjoyed the most DMing. Obviously, I've only played Barovia, which I had a fucking blast with that. Like my character just went from like 0 to 100. Character development wise, like in a blink of an eye. It was great. Like he started as a goody two shoes that was very intrigued by everything, and he ended up as a fucking sociopath.
Agent of chaos.
Yeah, it was great. I learned a lot. I learned a lot as a player.
I'm hoping to see something like that in Rime, where it's
I hope so too.
Where it's like, oh no, I love everything, nature, and then you're like, is that person dead? Can I eat them?
Yeah. How about you, Andrew? How about you? Between Waterdeep and Tomb of Annihilation.
I'd have to say Waterdeep probably.
and Descent into Avernus.
I would actually have to say, even though Tomb of Annihilation was fun for me because I got to jump in late game. So I was like, so you were like, make a level 10 character. I'm like, I'm all on that. Or it was like a level 9 or something like that. Yeah. So I was like, already like, bah! Like when I came in. And then I was like, oh, here's my intro to my story. And I immediately dropped it. I would have to say Descent into Avernus, though, was probably the most fun I've had. Only because it had the most, what I like to call like pure D&D moments where it's just like things kind of coalesced all together and it was like fun but funny and also story-wise and stuff. Specifically, early game Descent into Avernus. Like when we were going through those sewers and I was still playing a rogue, like that was probably the most fun I've had in D&D in a good long while. I
can agree with that 100% because I was having a blast as a DM. It played out so well, everything.
Those encounters were tense and they were fun, and it really had to make me think. Like it really made me stretch my brain muscles on like, okay, what can I do to not die?
Yeah, which is great because I remember when I was preparing for Descent into Avernus. You know, I always go like see what the community is saying, reviews, walkthroughs of the whole thing. I obviously read it, and then I always go to DM's Guild and download they always have a guide for it.
Yeah, or like a supplement or something like that.
No, like if I look specifically for the guide, I don't know if it's the same person, but there's always like Tomb of Annihilation guide or whatever, and all it is just breaks it down and makes it a little bit more streamlined for the DM. Sometimes it has good changes, which I'm going to talk about that. And sometimes it has
questionable.
Just not questionable, but things that are like, somebody's trying too hard on this.
Like trying too hard to put their own homebrew.
Yeah, to make content type situation. But I appreciate it regardless because it's a good perspective on it. And everybody was always like, oh, the what's it called? The encounter in the elf song tavern, like you gotta tone that down. Like instead of this many, just half it. Make sure that they talk to the NPCs so they can get help. You have to tone it. Almost everybody. I think only like a single person said that he read it the way it was, and he said that it was challenging, but it wasn't impossible. And I'm just like, because I was just got enough of Barovia, and I was just like, I'm tired of being the nice team. For once, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna see what it is. And one of the big things,
and I think coming off of Barovia, I told you straight up, don't pull punches. Like, don't make the same mistake I did. You know,
and I took that to heart too. By the way, Kevin says, yes, I can't wait to get there. I think that sent into Avernus, there's a lot of wow/plot twist moments for the players, and yes, there was. But everybody was like, tone it down. I didn't tone it down. I was like, I'm gonna go as is. You know, if they die, they die. if they die, they die.
And you want to know something? That was a fucking great encounter. Like, granted, I died literally within the first round, and that's okay. Like, I know everyone's like, ha ha ha, you know, Andrew built his character up and he died. But I mean, think about it. That set the tone for the entire campaign. Yeah. That showed us that, like, okay, we're not fucking around here. Like, we like this is a serious threat. And throughout that entire campaign, people were like, okay, Grease is a really good spell.
I think Grease was the MVP spell of the whole campaign.
The entire I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for that first encounter, Heather's character probably wouldn't have picked up Grease because it just goes to show, hey, you can have a spell that doesn't do damage and it's still super useful.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Grease, that fight could have gone sideways so hard.
Yep.
More so than it did.
Yeah, and I think what got me to consider, because for a moment I was like, maybe I should balance it, was because in the legit, I think it was like the first paragraph of the adventure, once you start, like after you read all about what's happening, whatever, and what you actually start, I think it was like, you know, Captain Zudge recruits the players. If the players take X amount of time and don't deliver, or they don't seem to be going for the ultimate goal, Captain Zudge sends like 5 to 10 veterans to take care of the characters, and if they kill them, they kill. And I read it, and I'm like, wait, what? So like, if they don't do,
keep in mind, a veteran is like a CR3 monster,
right? So I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, it felt harsh, right? I'm like, now looking back, I'm like, no, it totally makes sense. Like, I get it. I get why they did that, because people were like, oh, it's lazy writing. Oh, if railroad your character. I'm like, no, you're paying for a campaign. You know, there's probably better ways to like push your characters, but usually somebody who's gonna start a campaign like that, everybody's like, oh, here's the plot to it, the plot hook. Let's go for it. You know. Well, what I mean?
Look here. Well, okay, so that kind of involves like if the players, like you set out a plot hook and the player's like, okay, let's just humor him and go along with it. Like that's just good playing.
Right.
But also you can like role play the Captain Zodge thing. Like, hey, look, we spent a lot of Flaming Fist money and resources on you. We're going to get our money's worth one way or another. Kind of a thing. You know, so you can role play it that different way. But also, going back to that first encounter, you've like established through session 0 and like through like the little handouts that you gave us pre-game that Baldur's Gate was like the city of blood. Like, it was essentially Gotham if there was no Batman.
Yeah.
So if that first encounter was we steamrolled through the enemies, I would have been like, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got like the fact that we were the ones that got steamrolled was like, okay,
which
we are really in it now.
Which for this group specifically is a big change, because for as much as like we do die, well, actually even we don't actually die, but like for as much as we go down or whatever, I think everybody got really comfortable to always win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like especially in like Curse of Strahd, or even like back in Tomb of Annihilation, everybody just got very comfortable with like, we're just gonna make it through. There's no way. Like, right, boom.
Well, especially in 5e, it's very difficult. Once the players have gotten past a certain threshold, it's difficult to kill people.
Yeah,
you know.
But
like put that fear in them in level 1, like boom, knife right in the throat.
Yep.
Like, anyone can die.
Yep. So. And I love how that whole section with Baldur's Gate played out, because there was a lot of things that was not in their games. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you,
Baldur's Gate and early Elturel were my favorite parts of that.
Hold on, because like that part, Kevin says that he totally agrees with you. The thing is that what's it called on the reason why you guys got charged 2,000 gold pieces for a resurrection was because I couldn't remember how much it actually cost.
I mean that, but that all makes sense, because like, oh no, we got what's the word? Like we got like rat fucked by this cleric guy. Like, of course he's gonna gouge the prices. It's Baldur's Gate.
Right.
He's probably like, he's probably like, oh, these like new guys in the city. Like, I'm gonna see how much I can get off of them.
You know, like, and I played it off that way, but like honestly, when like they asked, I couldn't find the spot of the resurrection bit, so I'm like, 2,000 gold pieces, because I knew it was a lot. I just didn't know it was that much.
It was probably something like 200 gold. I don't think it was like 2,000 gold. But then you had to think about like parts and labor.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So,
but like that whole bit, and you guys owing money to Captain Such and putting everything on his name because
and the fact that we were like, oh, it's a flaming fist. This is a blank check. It's like, no, 10,000 gold is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. And like the moment, like I remember after, because you guys honestly, one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was the when you guys were down in the sewers looking for that was so intense. All of that.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was so intense.
I loved that part.
You guys went down a couple times. Like to the point, I remember at one point you guys were like in this little room just shaking. Just take a quick rest. I just need to. Or like that moment.
Can we take a short rest? No, not right now. Why not?
Or like that moment that like I remember because like or half orc or full orc samurai was like, I could take these guys, and he went in, but like something happened that like nobody made the plan cohesively, so he went all the way in.
Oh yeah.
And then all the enemies went against him. But then he fucking stood his ground, and it came down to like the rolls. Like one hit, he would go down, but like it was just rolling. Like the rolls were in his favor at that moment. It just played out like like you guys were like on one end and like, oh, we have to help him. And when you guys decided to finally like get your shit together and go back, you just find him covered in blood with all the dead bodies around him, like with like 5 hit points left.
Yeah, he's like, thanks for the help. Yeah. But I mean, it really was down to like, oh, do I move over here? Oh, well, now Orin's dead because the assassin had a clear shot at him.
Yeah, and that old lady that went invincible and started stabbing people in the back. When I got to that point, I was like, there's no way they can make it through this. And again, I was this close to like, no, let me just wind it back a bit, just a little bit, right? Or maybe I'll fudge some rolls and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, fuck it. If they die, they die. I'll figure something out. And
think about it. And think about it. If we had died in the Baldur's Gate sewers, what better cold opening for Descent into Avernus than, hey, this is how fucked this city is. So these group of adventurers died. Yeah. Now roll up your real characters.
Right. Oh, that would have been glorious. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody would have been like, wait, are you serious? We're not coming back from that?
No, you're dead. You're part of the sewers.
That would have been great. And then like you guys come back down to the sewers and you see the dead bodies still there. Just stripped from their loot and stuff. Like, oh, that would have been fantastic.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be great.
So that part was amazing. Oh, dude, that part when you're fighting the 2 bosses and you go into the shadows. Remember that? And you couldn't he was trying to hide, but it's this hulking figure looking for you, goes into the darkness.
And neither of us have dark vision. So I'm just like pressed against the wall, and I'm like, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me. And I don't think I've ever had such like a heartbeat, like tense moment such as that, where I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I remember I can't remember the exact roll I made, but I was like, oh, if he rolls this much, he sees it, something like that, and he didn't. And because there was a chance. I wasn't just gonna be like, oh, he just can't see you. Oh no, I think he was going to swing, and there was like a percentage that you could get hit. But then you had the advantage because you could see the light from behind him, so you saw the silhouette of him. Oh, that part was glorious.
That was chef's kiss.
But all that was great. And then like when you guys went to the upper city into the Vantapors. Vanthapers, and like the whole brotherly thing with Home Kid, what's his name?
Oh yeah, God, what was his name? We just kind of dropped him off somewhere. Like,
you dropped him off at Candlekeep, but yeah, you like made like bodily. Ew, that sounds weird. Brotherly love with him. You're like, hey brother, like and so forth and whatnot. And like at the end, you like set his house on fire, and you leave with a cat. And as you're walking out from Baldur's Gate into the lower city, you guys just like looking over your shoulder, and the fire keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
and the fire got started from something like we were just like trying to get rid of these robes. We're like, I feel like I throw it in the fireplace. It's fine. Little did we know that 6 sets of robes kind of spread out a lot. So,
by the way, Kevin says that he remembers Andy trying to use a lantern to look under a door under a door through a dark room without having dark vision.
Yeah. Because I had the thieves tools, and one of the things is like it's like a mirror with a stick. So I tried to do it, and you're like you don't see anything. I'm like, why not? I'm like, because you don't have dark vision. I'm like, oh well, fuck me, I guess.
Oh my god! And I think the room right next to that was I think it was. There was 2 rooms. One of them, Howard like sends his little Lars into it, and it's just a shit ton of skeleton. And it's like, nope, they're not going that one. And then like wait,
we're good.
And then wait later, you open another door and it's just a bunch of skeletons. You're like, nope, just close it. That whole sewer system was so fucked.
No, just don't go in there.
Yeah.
But it really was something like down to the most minute detail, because I remember Glyph's like, I'm gonna go take care of these skeletons. Oh no, there's like 7 fucking skeletons in here.
Because like I think up to that point you guys are so used to just like, you know, oh, let's kill everything on every single room, right? Mm-hmm. But like if you did that here, you wouldn't make it to the end.
And guess what? This was not the game where we were leveling up by XP, so we really did not have to kill every single thing. Well, but like like for some reason we have the mentality of like a SWAT team where we have to clear every single room. And
but that was right at the beginning. Like halfway through, you're like, no, fuck that. Let's just keep going straight.
No, you know what? This isn't my fight.
To the point that you see the grandma in the tub filled with blood. And you're all like, nope, I ain't dealing with that. And somehow she stuck along too.
But no, because I was like, I'm gonna ask what's going on. And everyone's like, oh god, no, listen, dude. but it's content. I want to see what's happening. And now Orin's decapitated.
Yeah.
Well.
And like another 2,000 resurrections?
I think it was like 10,000 at that point. It was no. It was something crazy. It was like it was a ridiculous amount of money.
So I think honestly, Baldur's Gate in and of itself was a good. Like I know it was like the intro, the first 5 levels. You know how they. But usually you forget about the intro level. You forget about the goblins in Storm King's Thunder. You forget about I don't even remember the one from Tomb of Annihilation. You forget about that crap. But this was like an excellent intro to descend into Avernus.
It was a real good tone setter.
Yeah, because like every time I read like, oh, the first chapter is just the intro, just the first 5 levels, and usually it's get the goblins. Man, I really can't remember the one from Tomb of Annihilation. It was something stupid too. I can't remember what it was.
It's either something that's like gonna set the tone for the rest of the campaign, or it's just like, oh, here's like an arbitrary or like an arbitrary quest that kind of snowballs into like this sort, and like it links into the other rest of the story. Right. So know it's.
No, I was gonna say like, and it usually by the end of the campaign you forget about it. You're like, oh yeah, that happened. You know. Sorry,
But by the end of this campaign, we were like, do we have to go back to Baldur's Gate? We own Captain Zod a lot.
After all you went through, you're still concerned about Captain Zod.
Yeah, we fought fucking Tiamat, and like Captain Zod was the biggest threat we dealt. Like,
I love that. He's not even the highest ranking one. You actually have older Revengard right next to you.
Oh yeah. But we're like, no, man.
We don't want to mess with Captain Zod.
Hey, could you put in a code word for Captain Zod for me, please? He scares me.
like the picture of Tiamat, that I don't fear, but Captain Such, that I fear.
That thing scares.
It scares. Oh man, but yeah. So Baldur's Gate was great. The part with Candlekeep was cute. It was just like a transitioning moment.
Yeah. Candlekeep was just kind of like a sort of like, okay, let's
get you to Avernus. I mean, it kind of played out really well too, though. But then, El Turel, when you guys get to El Turel, you guys are like, it can't be worse than Baldur's Gate, right, guys?
No. Okay. So, welcome to hell. First of all, El Turel was a real fucking sobering moment where, like, there was a moment where there was a crumbling building and there were children inside and they died, and it was just like. silence throughout the players, and we're like, Jose, you are fucked.
Listen,
but then afterwards, I was like, dude, Jose, such a good job. Like, yes, we are in hell. Like, this is exactly what hell should be like.
And listen, this is okay. Behind the scenes, this is what I had. I think it was 5 dwarf, like a family. It was a family, and I gave them all the same chance to survive. It was up to your guys' roles. So when I was asking like the roles to make sure that they're like I can't remember, but I think it was the orc, Varric. He kept moving things, and he kept failing the checks, and things inside the building were crumbling, and that's when some of the voices went quiet.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, I'm an asshole for the kid dying, but they all had the same chance.
It's hell. Like,
yeah.
It's hell. It's supposed to be the worst possible thing happening.
And the thing is that Heather, the last session, is like, she brought it back up, and I'm like, oh, I thought you forgot about it. It's like, no, I'm never forgetting about this.
No, and it's like, okay, let me pull back the curtain for you. A DM is not supposed to be nice. Like, a DM is supposed to, like, if you're in hell, expect like to see people like impaled on spikes and shit like that. Like,
well, you say that, right? You say that, and then like we keep going to the adventure. You know, you do the thing in El Terrell. Pretty cool stuff with the demons. El
Terrell was hellish.
Yeah, and then you go down to Avernus with little Lulu, and you go down to the, you know, you meet Mad Maggie, you make friends with her somehow. You go to the dream, blah, blah, blah. Very whimsical. And then you're like, oh, we have to go to the hill. And I'm like, yes, you guys have to go to the hill. Hanuman's hill. And you guys get there. It's like, oh, what's happening here? And then you turn around, it's a massive nightmare engulfed on fire coming down to you. Go, and then like, that was my favorite. Hold on. That was my favorite fucking part. Go ahead.
You're forgetting the part where there's a copse of trees with soldiers impaled on them, and they're like, kill me, the entire time.
Yeah. They all tell you, and every time you like took one out, like
suffering,
he evaporated. But then you guys, I love that part. It was so good because you guys like, oh, I'm gonna ready my action, so when the nightmare and the night on top of it come to me, I'm gonna get them, and everybody starts doing the same.
And we forgot about the 70 sturges that were flying around the area.
You know, just imagine that like time pauses, and then it's just like a fucking cloud of sturges, like migratory birds, just, and take like 70% of your health.
Oh yeah, they evaporated us.
And at that point, you guys, after that round, you guys are like, maybe we should run.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you don't mind answering.
Yeah.
What were the actual attack stats for Harriman? Because he was doing stupid.
No,
damage.
he had. I don't have it with
me. Because it was something he was doing like 70 something damage per turn or something.
No.
I'm like,
those are actual rolls. Hold on.
No. I know. I just because I know the creature that he was based off of. And it's in Mordecai and Sum of Foes. I'm like, there's no way he was doing that.
I'm gonna pull him up because I can't remember.
Off of like a 3d8 roll or something like that. It was probably something like the Lance of Vengeance. It does like an extra 50 damage to people he doesn't like, which is everybody.
Maybe.
Because like what's it like Harriman came down and like one-shotted all of us. I'm like, all right, well we're fucking dead. I don't know.
It wasn't a one-shot, but
it was pretty much a one-shot.
It was not a one-shot.
I remember I specifically remember Quintessence took out his horse and he somehow got stronger from it. Like we went to like phase 2 of the boss fight. We're like a second boss fight showed up on the bottom of the screen. We're like, oh no.
He does 1d12 plus 5 piercing damage. And then if he hits, obviously, he does an extra 3d10 fire damage. And that is and that's one.
And how many?
And that's one out of 3 attacks.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So that's how he was. Okay.
He had a Hellfire Lance. That's what it was called.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's how he was doing stupid damage like that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after all that, you like texted me one night. It's like, hey man, you know, I don't feel like we're in hell. You know, everything's just very
okay, hold on. Hold the phone. hold the phone, because this was like when we were like almost. Okay, I get it. I'm the asshole here. Okay, because it's just like we were dealing with like a lot of deserts, and there was like a weird caravan. I was like, oh hey, come eat our food. It's really delicious here. And like, oh, here's a bath. I mean, like, yes, in the grand scope of things, yes, there was like a dead colossus, and there was like, you know, people impaled on trees, and like a forest made of bones, blah blah blah.
And that wasn't hellish enough for you.
I don't know. It was just something like I was expecting my character to be tormented, just like, hey, you committed war crimes.
You know one mechanic I completely forget about. Kevin, take notes on this. A mechanic I completely forgot about that would have come amazingly handy every time. When a character goes down, a little devil appears, and it offers you a contract to bring you back up. But it doesn't.
That would have been amazing.
But I was going the other day. I'm like going through the beginning because I was looking for something specific, and I fucking saw it. I'm like, I completely forgot about that because you guys went down so many times. It could have been the same fucking devil. Like, hey, you know, like, how about you sign this paper?
We really got to stop meeting like this.
The cigarette. You know, and the contract could have been anything. It could have been anything as long as it was against the player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, he says, Kevin says he doesn't remember reading that. Yes, it's in the Avernus not extra rules, but like flavor bits. Like when you read like what's Avernus, around the Iker area.
And I remember on the adventure, just be like, okay, the contract's gonna do like roll a d10. This is what the contract does. And then you come up with some stuff. And it's like, oh, you have to kill one of your own like people before the like, I don't know, the 10-day is over or something like that. Like, you know, like that would be something. Like I understand it is a bit of a headache because the book probably says, I don't know, come up with something. But then like, you know, you probably do have to come up with something. Yeah. And believe me, there's a lot of rules and stuff that I'm having to write down for my personal use just for rhyme. Because I'm like, okay, if I want to do this justice, I have to get this all laid out. So I completely understand where the whole like headache thing comes from.
Yeah, and it was I read it like 4 times and it didn't click, and that's on me. I probably could have pushed that a bit more, but honestly, there was so much more to like the rest of the adventure that I didn't think it was 100% necessary. However, that little like if you go down, the little devil pops up. I wanted to use that so bad, and I just me being me. You know,
I mean, the thing about it is that the reality of it is that you're not gonna. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. The reality of it is that nobody's perfect, and you're not going to be able to use 100% of everything that's in the book. I mean, there were so many things that I dropped out of Curse of Strahd just because either I forgot or I'm like, this is too much work for me right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Go ahead.
So I mean, as long as the adventure was yours and you made it yours and it was something memorable and something that people can reference back to, you know, it's a success.
I personally had a blast, and what I was leading with this whole thing before Facebook decided to drop the stream, with the whole like you didn't think that hell was enough. Hell was my favorite improvisation moment of my whole fucking DM career.
War crimes.
You guys were just like, oh, do we see anything? And you know, I roll some of the different things. Oh no, it was something in the map that you guys like highlighted. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, we're like, we're gonna go fight this really big devil. You're like, okay, whatever. We're kidding. Like, nope. You move the icon there.
Yeah, so. That turned into such a fucking mess. It was great. You guys were like, okay, let's just take down the devils for funsies. You guys.
And then we found out they were like fresh recruits, and like they were really green under the collar, and like some of these people were like, he was 2 days away from retirement.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no. And that's when we found out, like, not all like, even though they're lawful evil, they're not evil. It's just like, oh, they were just doing their jobs.
Yeah, and then you guys go to like to meet Bell. It just so happened that Bell was getting the retirement party ready for the one devil that you guys killed. Like, he actually cares about his workers.
but because we're like, oh, he never came back from his like recon or something like that. Okay, I guess we'll just repurpose this as a birthday. So it was
somebody was getting a promotion.
Yeah. So it was like happy retirement, but then like someone like hastily like taped promotion or something over it.
And I try to make sure to bring that back as often as possible. Even towards the end, when you guys were like going to save El Terrell, the first devils you encounter were wearing like a black band around their arms
to commemorate Frank.
These are guys who killed Frank.
And we're like, now you're gonna meet him.
Oh, so I mean, honestly, all in all, with flaws and everything, because Avernus has some flaws.
Every adventure has flaws.
I honestly think that I had a fucking blast. There were moments that I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for it to get here, and then like I kept thinking about it after it happened, just like laughing of my own fucking stupid jokes, and like it was just very I don't know. It developed very naturally, even though obviously it's a pre-written module. So I had fun. I hope you had fun. You know, and
it was all right.
Fuck you. And just for the recording, we are going to have a small interview with the rest of the players just to like get like feedback and stuff like that.
Are we doing that right now?
No, we're not doing that right now. That's gonna.
Oh,
be,
okay. So
yeah.
I'm just the rest of the group had to say.
Well, yeah. We're gonna lead that to it only for recording purposes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, we have our players here with us, and this is definitely not pre-recorded and not edited into the episode. So here you go.
Not at all.
See what the players have to say.
Ignore the changing audio quality.
Do the intro. Do it.
And welcome to another episode of Attack of Opportunity interview. Yeah, totally. This is the live interview we're doing as we're recording our live episode. This is totally not recorded on a different day. I can promise you that much.
Nope.
Just look at the shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, it's the exact same shirt, and I'm drinking the exact same beer.
Look at the background and make sure nothing moves.
which proves that it is the same day.
Wait a minute. That lampshade was exactly 2 points.
Look for continuity errors, audience.
Yeah. Oh, so yes, we are talking today about post-campaign wind out / stress disorders. With us today, as usual, we have Andrew, but we have a new cast of people that, you know, you've probably seen him live.
Whether today's Andrew, but who gives a shit about that?
Old news.
Yes, today we have Alex over there, and then we have Heather. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Alex, who played Varric the Orc. Wow, I'm a terrible DM. I already forgot what you played. Fighter, Samurai. Heather,
wow.
Quintess played Quintess's the Warforged. We have Armando, who played Glyph originally, and then switched to Crad, the Paladin Oathbreaker. And then all the way in the corner over there, we have Howard, who played Oren, the Wizard, who really saved the day, if you ask me.
I was going to say, let's be real. Oren is Howard. Yes. Howard is Oren.
Same person, really.
Oren is the savior.
Yeah. I'm just going to go on up.
So what kind of wizard are you going to play for Icewind Dale?
It's going to be the same character, just a different specialization.
Oh, yeah.
We've already done illusion, conjuration. What else we got?
Which one have you not played? That's the real question.
That's a good question. Probably divination. Who does that?
Can you multi-class different schools of magic?
No, I don't think so. That'd be cool.
That's a sorcerer. Okay. All right. So we're here together, post descent into Avernus, and we're going to talk about everything related with the campaign from a player point of view. Andrew and I already gave. Wait, no. Andrew and I will give our point of view after the interview.
I mean,
So yes, let me start with one question that I did not definitely send you guys to think about beforehand.
Shit.
Before
I
we
didn't
got
study.
before we got started, what were you guys expecting with Descent into Avernus? Based on the things that I told you and the cover of the book and the big angel thing, like what was your expectations and how does that compare to what actually happened? Oh wait, before we keep going, we have to talk about what we're drinking today. I mean, what our players are drinking
Yeah, I
today.
was to say there's no beer talk yet.
I know.
It's not a, yeah.
Andrew and I,
Hold on, yeah.
Andrew and I already talked about our beers, but just as a friendly reminder, I'm drinking Vesa Sur Mangolandia, which is what I just said a couple minutes ago. Andrew, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking. This is my apparently second beer of the episode, which makes sense because I actually got a little tipsy from the first beer. I'm having an Orange Blossom Pilsner by Orange Blossom Brewing.
Those are always good. Alex, what you got, man?
So, this is my second beer also, but this is golden.
Oh, I
Road
love
Brewing.
those. The mango.
Mango
oh
cart.
my god.
Mango
It's
cart
delicious.
Yeah.
is
See,
the
that was-
bomb.
Amazing.
If you're trying to day drink, this is where it's at.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
for sure. Try.
That's
Alex.
right.
Alex, you actually have a problem. This is an intervention.
Oh, we're all here actually.
No, don't go away.
Don't run away! Don't run away from the healing process.
We need the banner
Yeah.
and somebody to do like fire magic, just
Yeah.
like burn the banner.
The banner
Interventions get
appears
a
in the
lot harder
background.
with COVID.
Yeah.
By the way, mango cart for a beer batter, chef's kiss. So good.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely grabbed it
Good to
because we were
know.
like going out kayaking, and I was like, we need day drinking.
Thank you, Sim, for fucking giving.
Yeah,
me
that was
added
weird.
little-
Oh yeah, unlimited minutes.
Unlimited
Oh,
minutes.
wow, wait,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
minutes?
What is this? 1999.
All right, guys.
Wait, are you paying? Are you paying for Zoom Express?
we gotta get this happening. Wait, is it?
Wait, I need
is-
to
is
put
it
in
af-
my AOL disc.
Is it after 7 p.m.? Because then it's free. All right.
You have to call me though.
What? Yeah, right. What are you
I'm
drinking?
being super lame, and I'm drinking sweet tea. But
You mean?
I'm going to
you-
plug
Ooh.
Long
the
Island?
delicious Seventh Son Fizz, their
Alex's
new
first
Imperial
beer.
Sour. Ooh,
First beer.
shh. You wouldn't even know about it if it wasn't for my weird addiction to sours.
That looks really good.
Yeah. Right now
It
with
is
this.
so good, and Seventh Son does so many good sours come summertime.
Yes.
Ugh.
Right now with
I love
this
sours.
with this heat is perfect. Armando, what you got for us, man?
I'm counting calories, and I actually just had a setback in my lifestyle change,
Oh,
which
fuck,
makes
what are
me
the
very
calories
sad. But I'm gonna plug Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Oh, thanks.
There you go.
Dark Side of the Moon. Thank you for
Put
just
it in front of your
fucking
face.
Yeah, in front of you.
fucking your life up. Dark Side of the Moon, from college all the way till life.
Yes.
And this is a hint of pineapple mango, my favorite, but it comes in a variety of flavors, and it is really worth it if you're trying to get a day buzz, a night buzz, and watch your calorie intake.
Nice. Yeah, they definitely sound really tasty because you had it that last Saturday and I wanted one and I completely forgot because I was DMing and I was like, fuck.
Okay, it's
that was like a
160
commercial.
calories. We're good.
Wow, Andrew.
If you guys want a good hard seltzer, get the strawberry lime Florida water hard seltzer.
Florida
Oh
water?
My God, it's called like, I'm pretty sure it's called like Florida water from like Untitled Art Brewing or something. I can always find it at like
That's-
the fancy,
That's so
the
hipster.
fancy package stores. It was super
Okay,
hipster.
I mean, if
and it's made in
seltzer-
Wisconsin.
oh, okay.
There you go.
I was,
It's
I,
so weird.
I was gonna say if it's seltzer made out of like Sefri Hills, I'm gonna drink that shit. But like,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna drink all that.
that.
So
I don't know. I think the most hipster thing I've seen was like hard kombucha. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
how far are we gonna
Just
get?
Like go a little
Oh,
further.
sorry. Let me plug. And then to follow up my seltzer, I have some Scotch whiskey right here, some single
Nice.
malt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Classic sweet tea
You
here.
go get one.
Wait. Last but not least, Howard. Go
Oh.
ahead. Show us how to make a Moscow Mule.
Well, this is very basic.
Oh, you already made it? What the hell, dude?
I already made it. Sorry, I gotta do it on. No, I already
Yeah,
made it.
dump it out, make another one.
The secret
So-
is to do it
No,
off
no,
screen.
chug-
like a
Chug it and
cooking
make another
channel.
one. Chug it
I
and make
highly
another
recommend Tito's. Great vodka for this.
All right. Take some notes.
Isn't it?
I go with some basic, like lime juice you can just buy because I think that You don't really have to go too crazy with
That's-
limes because then nobody
You
has
don't
time.
you
for
don't
that.
you don't use real sweet slime,
I
man.
don't
That's-
use no. I
That's a
do
very
not.
white thing to do. I
Shame.
understand.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah,
Real
and,
limes.
always.
Thick limes at the
No-
corner
never
store.
the- no-
Patty's
never the
Pub.
bottom.
Guy, stop shitting on the wizard, okay?
I normally go with what is it? Gosling's ginger beer. What was
Oh,
it?
yeah, that was a good one.
Ryan
Yes.
Gosling.
But today I tried this one.
Oh, I've had that one
Okay.
too.
It's really good, actually. I like it.
Yep.
Highly recommend. I
Nice.
would, I guess, for on
Yeah.
audio only. It's called Barrett's.
Barrett's.
Barrett's ginger beer.
Yes, and as you can tell, we are a bunch of drunks.
Yes.
Except me.
No, you're still drunk. You're just being a nice drunk.
Oh. I'm usually fairly nice drunk. I'm the kind of drunk that comes to your party and then starts cleaning your house. for you.
Yes, I've witnessed that.
Yeah.
It's great. At first, I was like, "Let me
I've
stop
been
you! Don't
doing
do that!
since
Don't
I
do that!"
was-
And now, last time
young.
you came over, I was like, "Kristen, don't even bother. She's still gonna clean."
No.
I kind of
But
feel
I
like
will, like-
I kind of feel like I gotta host something now with all of y'all. Like,
Yeah,
specifically Heather, like right here, like
she can start cleaning.
hey, Heather,
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
hey,
just
take,
my
take,
house
take
is
a
real
couple,
dirty.
take a couple shots and just like go at it. Like,
Actually,
you got the
Love me at
Swiffer,
parties.
you got the Swiffer, and you got the vacuum. Just like don't worry about the noise. Just
Funny-
spray that shit.
Funny enough, and you can ask.
Parents love me at parties because I always clean the house after.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Uh,
But funny enough, you can ask Andrew. Kristen will fucking organize all of the things in your kitchen for free.
The last time they came over, I was like, "No, the pantry's too clean." I like intentionally like threw some stuff on the floor that way. I'm like that. Now she'll have something to do.
describing mine and Alex's relationship dynamic right now. It's I organize everything, and then he goes, "Where the fuck did you put all my stuff?"
The funny thing is that Kristen shows up and she's like, "How's your pantry?" And Andrew opens the door and she's like, "Okay," and she starts like moving everything around.
And I'm like, "All right, that'll keep her entertained for a couple hours. Let's play some Scythe."
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Look at that. We kept the alcohol talk for less than 30 minutes, which is a
So the
record.
thing I really like about
Andrew,
Blossom-
we're done with the alcohol.
You know, can we just
Stars
talk about
out.
Soon
sours now?
we
I
need
think
to do a Seminole Heights brew tour because come on,
Live on a talk opportunity. Wait, are you guys D&D or like an alcohol podcast?
Brewbus? Are we talking about
Both?
Brewbus?
brew bus
hey,
is
man,
lame compared to.
We're
all of the
trying to get you
things.
advertising money, man. We're trying to get you advertising.
Fair.
money.
Yeah, we're
Fair.
dropping names.
Well, no, if you go on Brewbus on Sunday, don't they go through Seminole Heights? I
I don't
think.
know how that works.
I'm not.
I just know that they usually are in the way. Tiny roads and the big bus and a lot of
Yeah.
drunk people piling in and off of it.
Oh yeah, it's a place called the Brew Bus. Goddamn drunks on the Brew Bus.
How dare they?
They finally got the long tables back into Seventh Son, and I want us to like go play a one-off there so badly.
It would be perfect.
It's
wow.
it's perfect. It's like the full tavern experience with like the big chandeliers and like
That'd be
Like
awesome.
8-foot tall
Wood.
barrels.
You know that
Ugh.
cool stuff still hasn't opened their freaking doors to like regular, not even magic. Fucking left.
Not even
what
like
are all
with
the
masks.
magic kids doing?
No, probably dying. Well,
Online
they have
magic.
the online
Yeah.
game now, which is pretty big. Okay, but we're not here to talk about magic. Damn it!
Sorry, bye
Easy.
magic.
Just so you know, our actual the episode that we recorded, or I mean the episode is about an hour and like 30 minutes long. So we're gonna slice this in between. It's gonna be like a 2-hour long episode.
Yeah,
So
it's
brace-
called the Local Loop. It's on Saturdays and Sundays. Sorry,
Brace-
what were we talking about?
Brace yourself. Damn it!
Let's
Andrew.
do it.
This is going nowhere. Okay, all right. First question. I already said it. I'm gonna say it again. So, what were you guys expecting with Descent into Avernus before we started? Like, what was when I gave you all the information I gave you, like the imagery I show, and once you guys got to like session 0, you saw the picture of like Stereo and all that. Like, what were you guys expecting before the game, and what and compared to what actually happened? So let's start. Yeah, let's do the race of racing. Armando.
I have a suggestion. Like, why don't we start with like the complete newbie, like first time D&D player, and then move on to everybody else.
Sure.
Why don't we roll for initiative? and
No,
see-
we
that-
are
that-
not
that-
running for
like
this.
it.
That sounds better.
Roll.
I like Andrew's idea. Okay,
Damn
hold
it!
on.
Where my die?
You literally
Where am I
just gave me.
All right,
you literally
get
just gave me like physical die. Let me go get them.
Okay, and Howard, it doesn't work on. Get your die and roll for initiative.
hold on. Okay. Are we serious?
Yes, we're serious about
Okay.
this. Let's do this.
What's
Why
my
can't I
modifier?
find my
though?
dice?
Well, you're all
I
There
humans.
was
So
in the game.
your modifiers are gonna be based on just 0. You get nothing.
No
Oh wow,
modifier.
that's lame.
You're commoners, okay? You get nothing. Howard's
Okay, so I just want to point out that Jose is such a great DM that he literally just referenced a very short campaign we did this weekend with other people that are not, and he literally gave me my, oh god damn it, Dark
Just
Side of the Moon.
Google roll 1d20.
Gave me my first set of D&D die in
Oh,
a little
nice.
bag with a wolf. I think it's a wolf.
yeah, they all had
Apparently a
like
wolf.
different creatures. I
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's see what we get.
And the thing
I
is
got
that
a 14.
it was supposed to
I
be
got 14.
it was supposed to be a surprise.
I know, and Kristen ruined
And
it.
Kristen fucking ruined it. I'm like, damn it, Kristen.
Am I rolling a D20?
D20, yes.
All right, me and Alex got the same thing, so we have to.
Fight to the death.
Yeah, you gotta. That's the only option, really.
All right.
All right.
I got a 4.
19.
Does it
Okay.
go to a
Damn.
coin flip now?
So Heather got a 19. Who got a 4? Who's that? Armando, you got a 4?
I got a 4. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Armando.
dig my dice out.
Doing initiative for an
Alright.
interview question.
Armando.
Now we're gonna keep the same initiative, or are we rolling?
No, we're rolling
kinda-
for each question. We're gonna roll.
I kind of feel like I'm still playing Crad because I had like a 1 initiative with Crad. So like,
It's a new encounter with every question.
Howard, what's your initiative?
2,
2. Oh my God, it was worse than Armando's.
just like real life.
All right.
didn't you have a higher initiative than Crad though? Didn't Oren have a higher initiative?
I think he did actually.
I had a 1.
but I know that crowd kept rolling like for shit every time the initiative came out.
Because I had a 1.
That's still pretty good. It could have been negative. Andrew and Alex, reroll.
Okay,
I got a 5.
I got a 7.
Ooh,
Wow,
got
this is-
him.
This is going great.
What did he get? A 5? I got a 6.
Okay, so Heather, you're gonna go first apparently.
Yeah, because I'm totally prepared.
I had like 20 minutes.
Again, this discussion. It's just no. We have
So-
alcohol.
There are
involved.
wrong answers.
They are wrong answers. They were stupid answers too.
Mm.
I definitely expected
okay.
there to be like fire, brimstone, devil's demons, lot less child murder.
Hmm.
There's a lot of murder of babies.
I never said babies. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Infants.
Just screaming children. Wasn't there an infant murder? I feel like there was a bit of infanticide at some point.
I mean, there was definitely a toddler in there. So
I don't
murder
remember.
Lulu, who's essentially a baby.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The size of
Yeah.
a baby elephant for sure.
You know, baby.
Until we saw that artwork, like, oh god.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
That changed our opinions.
You
a
guys
little
got
bit.
so hung up on the artwork of her. By the way, for the listeners who are planning on running this, not the artwork of the actual stat block, but the artwork that she's like floating next to the boat. I guess the way it was, like the perspective showed her like an actual fucking elephant, like ugly flying in front of the boat.
She's not done yet. Put her back in.
Yeah, but for the most part, like it was pretty on trend for what you kind of described, and I don't know, it was I didn't expect a lot of Baldur's Gate though. Like I still have the deed for the ship. It's still in the inventory is the stupid deed for the pirate ship, and I'm kind of like
Pirate
go back
adventure.
to that?
should have sold it like we tried to. Should have sold it.
Yeah, it's gonna become a cursed ship and Ghost of Saltmarsh. This
Yes.
A leaky tub of a ship shows
what
up.
was the name of it? Did they have a name? I can't remember.
It did have a
the
name.
Yeah.
serpent. What was it?
I didn't write it down.
Wow.
Got it in here.
Wow.
It is
So for the most
the
part, it was
uncivil serpent.
the uncivil serpent, and then Captain Zudge laughed at your face whenever you tried to give it to him for.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. And what of Zudge? Like more Zudge. Mm-mm.
You really
Die?
should have shown up for that last fight.
When everyone else was there.
This guy's owe me money. Fucking
Punches Zariel out.
wrestle Tiamat down to the ground. It's like, these are mine.
it was an entire fight of people I completely forgot about. I lost my fucking mind. Sorry, I lost my mind because I could not stop laughing. Like, I forgot about all of you. Great.
Oh yeah, when you guys got back to El Terrell.
Oh yeah, I couldn't stop laughing because I was just like, I spent 2 weeks like, how are we gonna deal with Tiamat? Oh my god, how are not Tiamat? How are we gonna deal with Zaria? Like, how are we gonna fight a literal angel? And then you pulled a hat trick, and I just like I couldn't stop. I was like, oh, okay, you know, Queen of Dragons and
That's
like 3 more dragons, and then throw some other weird
dungeon
bitches in
mastering
there.
tip number 1. That's superb expectations. I learned that from.
Can I just point out that the reason she showed up is because both Glyph and Krat like talked to her and then forgot about it, and she was just like, I might want to help these guys.
Yeah. Well, just I mean, she has her own purposes. She's
her own agenda.
Yeah.
She's got her own agenda.
Gold dragon. How about you, Andrew? What do you expect versus what actually happened? Wait, no, you're not. Oh yeah, you are next.
Oh, okay. I was told this was going to be like Mad Max in Hell, so I was definitely expecting more like V8 Fury kind of a thing going on. I thought there was going to be like semi trucks for some fucking reason, so I was like all pumped for that.
You were this.
Honestly, I should have leaned a little bit more into it, into that part of it. It's just that when you guys try to take on Hardeman, that was too good not to make you. The book literally says like if the players ever feel like they're doing good, sorry about that. If the player feels like they're doing or achieving something at all, like make sure to undercut that by doing something and make them feel bad. So of course, you know.
I mean, I watched all the Mad Max movies.
I did too. Oh man, so yeah, not enough Mad Max. That's my fault.
Yeah, and again, like Heather said, more fire and brimstone, like more like people impaled. Like I was expecting like Christian hell.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
demon babies crawling through.
I should have played Blasphemous before the game.
Yeah, like Dante's Inferno kind of thing.
Oh,
like,
you literally took the reference that I had in mind.
like a lake of tormented souls. Like
yeah.
Go visit a good like Baptist church. Go have fun. Go south on that one. Go
Oh yeah.
Snakes
one
and all that.
afternoon of that.
So
You'll figure it out.
I'm still happy with what we got though. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's okay. This is the time for you guys to tell me what you really thought.
Oh, thank fucking God.
God.
Wait, no, I take it back. Don't be mean.
Jesus Christ. All right, so can we talk about that fucking fetch quest?
Damn it! We're gonna get there eventually. Hold on, Alex.
Oh, we got all the way
Oh,
back.
man.
Oh man. Okay, sorry.
Alex, how about you?
So I mean, it's pretty similar to like what I expected, like demons and everything like that. But there was like a few times where he just like killed us emotionally, and ended the session, like when Lulu died, it happened, and then you're just like, all right, guys, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Like, what?
We'll pick this up next week.
There's definitely a few moments like that. And then like what Heather was saying, when there's like the building on fire and we hear children screaming, and then no more screaming, and we're like, oh fuck.
Also, when you killed all of us, and then we ended the session.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That was like the second session, wasn't it?
Oh no,
No.
sorry, I'm talking about the time when we were in hell.
Yeah,
The first time.
not
I
the
forgot about
Baldur's
that.
Gate part. The
No.
second time.
Yeah, no, which
I
time
definitely-
did we all die?
You're right. Hold on, I forgot the other one.
I don't know how many times you actually would like end the session, and Alex and I would just kind of meander around the house, like, what?
What the fuck happened?
Mission accomplished.
Well, now what?
Yeah.
Now it's time for bed, I guess.
I don't feel so
More
good, Mr.
nightmares
Stark.
tonight.
Just so you know, there was a section in the book that was literally the title was "Everything Sucks in Hell," and one of the things was like, if you guys ever did anything good, it legit said undercut that feeling by like destroying their weapon, make sure their pants fall off, or some bullshit like that. And I'm just
One of these things is
Just
not
fucking
like the
pants
other.
them.
Yeah, that'll do it.
well, it said that the belt, like your belt buckle, like like you know, it's like whatever. but that was like a big part of the game.
A random specter comes by
So,
and undoes your belt
you
buckle,
know-
like,
So
woo!
Vera,
Sexual harassment there.
I was like,
Yeah,
so Vera, good job at killing that creature. Your pants fall off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's random. All right, Armando. How about you? You're the
it's my turn.
first time everything really.
Yeah, first D&D player.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. Got thrown right into Avernus, which apparently is one of the tougher campaigns, or at least more emotionally emotionally
Draining.
striking campaigns. I don't know. I mean, again, I mentioned this when I just said it. I imagine sort of like a Dante's Inferno, which I love. So like, I don't know. I figured we might be going through some circles or something. I didn't know what to expect. Literally zero expectations. Just kind of like go with it. Started out with Glyph. Fucking hated him because I apparently can't play a bard well, except for like Shock.
Thundershock, Thunderwave.
Thundershock, Thunderwave. And then I apparently almost killed my own party members.
That was
No,
great.
that
was
part,
good.
That's par for the course for Thunderwave. Don't worry about that.
I will never not find that funny.
Yeah,
We literally built that in.
That was
fucking campaign.
That was literally session one. I was like, what do I do? Just blast everybody to the wall.
This spell sounds good. It sounds powerful enough.
No.
It was.
It was. It really was.
Woo! I love moments like that.
And then I think the moment that emotionally killed me the most was when Krad, who had Revivify, but he needed a diamond that was at least worth 300 gold, which nobody fucking had, was just kind of like, does anybody have a diamond? Does anybody have a diamond?
Lulu.
And everyone's just kind of like, dude, like, you just joined the party, calm the fuck down. Why are you crying? Why are you crying about Lulu without them knowing that?
Right. That was like,
they have a history, right? Like,
yeah.
for 40 years, he's been thinking Lulu's dead, like Zariel's dead,
Right.
like everything. So like,
We're just looking at you like, you just showed up. Calm down.
You don't even
Okay,
know.
Listen here, new guy.
we haven't even accepted you. You're crying over our pet friend. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? But yeah, I had like honestly no expectations except thinking that it would be kind of like Dante's Inferno, and then it was a little bit traumatic. Yeah. And then honestly, I was prepared because you and I talked about killing off Glyph and bringing in Krad, and then the way you like just decimated, just like I'm thinking of like the English translation of Death Note where it's like eradicate. You just eradicated like Glyph. So like in my head, I'm like, well, Krad is going to try to be like some kind of like empathy and just kind of like, ceremony this guy. No. Everyone's just kind of like,
well, he's dead.
What the hell is it gonna do? We're in hell anyway. Like,
all right. Well, I mean what are we
that's
gonna
fair.
do?
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I was like, well, you guys don't understand. I've been here 40 years. Like, at least he won't turn into a fucking zombie. Like.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's like he didn't return to the River Styx type situation.
Yeah.
Hey, this is probably where Glyph is gonna end up anyway.
But like, it's funny that you say the same, like more rings of hell or whatever. Because there how many are there, Andrew? 8 or 7?
There's 9. There's 9.
Right, and
they're all literally like Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. You guys just were in the first one.
Well, not literally, but it's like one is like Avernus is the top ring, and then like as you go, it's like
I
one's
meant
like
the number.
Yeah, but like
I meant the number.
Yeah, one's like a ring of poison, one's like a ring of ice, kind of.
So we
How do you
could have
get
gone
down?
Yeah.
That's an excellent question. Honestly, it is, unless you're a demon, the only way you can get to the other levels of it is by using by traveling through the plains. Quite literally.
Because it's a plane.
Could we have used Orange Door at the end of the session, in the last session?
I don't.
Dimension door.
Yeah.
Trap door
No.
style where we just drop the party into the next layer.
Or
you
you
just open the ground. I'm like, all right, guys, get in.
You could have used a little submarine thing, Bull, that you guys where you guys almost died and just go down into the River Styx, and that's how you get to the next level.
I think
That's where demons come from.
I want to say you can use planar shift in that.
I think that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, planar shift.
I didn't know it was a different plane of existence.
Honestly,
directly below.
I'm not 100% sure, but more than likely that's probably the way to do it. They're not very clear with that.
I don't think you'd want to go there anyway.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, that's the end of my not expectations.
Right.
Of my first D&D campaign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being Avernus specifically.
I love that every single one of you guys have said like that you were traumatized at one point or another.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew, are you proud of me, Andrew?
Man, that first fucking session kicked things off really
I
well.
love
didn't
that.
it?
That
Hold
was
on.
amazing.
We'll get to that too. But before that,
That was my favorite.
Howard, Howard, what was your expectations versus?
I mean, I kind of agree with the. I expected more fire, a little bit, a little more. I don't know, a little more shock.
Firestorms.
Yeah, like I guess more just kind of like. Yeah, I guess fire is probably the best way to put it.
I guess
But
it's funny because everybody, and I guess it didn't click in my head because everybody's like, oh, more fire, more people screaming, like that kind of stuff. But like, honestly, just to give you guys some of the lore dump on Avernus, Avernus used to be very close to heaven. It was the most beautiful place ever. It was to tempt mortals to go there and find power and peace and then get trapped. That was like the whole purpose of it. Through certain things that happened, it became a desert. Like everything died, and that's what Avernus is. It's just a big old desert.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it would be a giant desert. I was not expecting
You said-
miles and miles of desert.
If you want fire everywhere, you go to the elemental plane of fire.
Right. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that, and I also wasn't.
actually-
Shut up, Andrew. We're not.
I was kind of
think
expecting
that's where
whoever would-
Andrew is based on his background.
Yeah.
I was expecting everyone we'd run into to be surprised we would be there.
No.
But most people were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Adventurers.
you guys." Yeah, like, oh,
You
okay.
too, huh?
But no one was like, "What are you doing here?"
No.
Yeah.
A lot of adventurers, especially wizards and sorcerers, like to go into Avernus to find power.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
not expecting other people. Like I wasn't expecting like a bazaar to be here. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like here's
Oh,
this
yeah.
farmer's
So-
market
so you-
that just shows up.
So you guys never quite explore that too much, but that whole thing was all those people were trapped like there by Mahadi. He was, I can't remember the exact name of the Devil Lord, but like if you guys would have fucked with him, he would have like trapped your souls there, and that was the end of your character.
Oh,
He's a nice guy though.
I mean, I think you did mention the fact that they were trapped.
It
You
was
didn't give
towards
you
the
didn't give
end,
us
yeah.
details.
Yeah. It would
You
have.
should have had some. You should have had someone be like, "Get me the fuck."
Hey man.
Just slip a note like, "I'll give you all the ichor you want."
That honestly could have been a really great side quest. You know,
Yeah.
that would have been pretty. I didn't think about that. Damn it! All right, let's go play that session again, guys.
yeah.
All right.
Start over.
All right, now everybody roll me for initiative again. We're moving on to the next question.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck.
16.
There's a gun on the
Two.
floor.
I got a 7 again.
Oh no, I lost it.
Howard, what you got?
I got an 11.
Armando,
13. It's on the chat.
I can't see the chat. Sorry, guys.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, 13.
Okay, Heather. Once again, you go first. The next question is, pulls a little envelope and opens it up. What was your favorite part of the adventure?
Yikes.
Oh, well, we could
Nothing.
skip-
It was terrible. No,
we could skip me because we already talked about that on the actual episode proper.
No, we're gonna talk about it again because
Um,
this is the first time we are recording this at the same time as a regular episode. Totally
Oh,
not.
that's right.
Slice
Oh
time.
gosh. Actually, Jose, so I have a second to think. What was your favorite part of the adventure?
My favorite part of the adventure? Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so there was a lot of them, honestly, but I don't want to take the one that Howard mentioned earlier because he's probably gonna pick that one there.
Oh, man. Surprise.
No, no, sorry, I can edit that out.
No, you can skip my.
Honestly, I think for some reason the part that always comes back to me is when you guys were in Hadoman's Hill, and you're like, "Oh, there comes the knight. He's gonna fight us. We're gonna get ready." And all of you guys ready actions, and and forgot about the 30 sturges that were flying around you. Because the whole time I'm like, did they forget about the sturges? And like you guys were going through your turns, I'm like, did they forget about the sturges? No, they didn't.
The answer is yes.
And like it was a couple of rounds that went around too, so it was like 3 or so. And I was expecting for somebody to be like, "Hey guys, there's a bunch of sturges." And then it was like Hadoman's turn. I'm like, they forgot about the sturges. And all I imagined was the big barbarian just kind of like, the Goliath just ready, and then standing in one spot, a cloud of sturges just fly by him, and when they leave, he's just like very skinny and like lacking blood. That was probably my favorite part because for some reason I just can't believe the map was littered with sturges. And you guys were like what, level 7 or so? No, you guys probably higher than that. Sturges at that point you can kill him with like one hit. So anyways, that was probably like my favorite part. Did I give you enough time to think?
Clearly
No,
not.
never.
Wow. So you didn't have a
I
favorite
didn't
part?
have time. But there was a lot of favorite parts. I was gonna say like one of my favorite overall themes was getting to like actually use my artificer abilities in moments that didn't even make sense. Like, you destroyed our ride. Fine, I'm making a sand
Oh my god,
glider.
yeah.
Suck
Oh,
it.
the sand glider. Yeah.
Fucking sand glider.
Sand glider. Oh man, because I watched way too much Avatar.
I was so like when that happened, I was like, oh man, I got there. How the fuck are they gonna get there in time? I'm gonna have to like prepare like some side quests or whatever, blah blah blah. And the next session is like, okay, I guess can I make a sand glider? And I'm like, well,
Sand glider.
fuck, that's a great idea. Yeah, sure, of course you can.
Oh man, yeah, like sand glider, or when I finally got to meet a fire giant, because I'm
Oh, yeah.
assuming as an artifice, like I lost my mind.
Right,
Uh,
the best
getting into a
crafters.
fight with some red hats, because I was like, no, you're not fixing this properly. I'm gonna fix your ride.
Oh yeah,
And
the
they
mad
freaked
hats and the
out.
red hatters, the
Oh,
fucking
they got really
with the
mad.
Yes.
bike.
Just put the
Oh,
bike down.
man.
No.
No,
I know what's best for
it.
you.
I'm gonna make it better.
I'll never
Ah.
let go.
Or the awkward moment of like, oh, I murdered I resulted in the murder of a unicorn. I'm just gonna
Oh, yeah.
walk away.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That was definitely one of
Yeah.
the more traumatic events that happened. Like, oh, we killed the unicorn. Like, oh, fuck.
All I can imagine is just like a ooh, and then just meandering as far from that situation as possible.
Oh shit. Well,
Oh,
I'm glad that
man.
you had fun with Outer Fist or specific moments.
Oh, I mean, like it.
No. That's a good thing.
Well,
Like
it-
I'm glad that I was
okay.
able to provide that. Like that's good. Like we played along with that. That was good. That's
my
always
weird
something.
bottles of demon ichor.
Yeah, that's something that's always in the back of my head because like I honestly forget. Like, you know, I know you guys as base classes, but like sometimes like I'm going through all this stuff and I forget like specific things that you guys do. So I'm always looking. I always appreciate when players are like, "Oh, can I do this because of whatever?" You know, like you with the sand glider. I'm like, "Yeah, I have no stats for the sand glider, but there you go. It's a sand glider." You know, I love that kind of stuff. All right.
Ooh, no. The
What?
beautiful moment where we got to just sand glide through twisting tornadoes of fire.
Oh, yeah.
And the fucking camel! Because I felt glorious in that moment of like, I'm just gonna sail off into the sunset. Screw this.
That was
Good,
so
bro.
good.
I was hoping nobody was gonna bring that. Like,
Oh, no.
like, fuck up. Like,
Gotta come
it was just like, Krat's like, I got a freaking fire camel. Let's go. And he comes back and he's like all cinched. It's just like full of soot. It's just like, God damn it.
No,
And you know,
Legs burned off.
that is directly in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Your guys' adventures are like hanging out in El Terrell or something, having a drink, and that story always comes up. Every time.
Painting on the wall of a camel that's like half burned.
Remember when that Oathbreaker tried to run through the twisters of
With a
fire?
camel.
With a camel.
What a dick.
That was great, and that was. I mean, I understand why you did it. You know, it was kind of like that player mentality, that new player mentality. It's like, oh, it's a fiend, so therefore it kind of makes sense, right?
Right, that's what I thought. That was my logic. Why
But
can I hear myself?
the whole time I was laughing because in the back of my head I'm like, oh, he doesn't
No,
know.
I had no
He
idea.
doesn't
He doesn't
know.
know. This is gonna play out so well.
So good.
Yes.
Oh, all right, that's it. Next person. Sorry.
I just imagine that camel like walking up out of nowhere, but it's like a 150-year-old camel, like wrinkly and like has no water in it. It's like clip clop. You're like, oh, that's what you're riding through the fire.
He
Okay.
gets teleported to the front of the line of the fire tornadoes, and then he looks at the paladin and he looks at the fire tornadoes like, nah. All right.
I thought he was gonna be like a
Too old for this
fire
shit.
Pokemon, you know, like
Right.
he just breezed through it. Like he'll like absorb the fire and be like, oh, I got more energy now.
Oh, he absorbed it all right.
Yeah, I did.
All right, Armando, you're next.
I'm next. Okay.
Infernal Camel.
I actually read the notes beforehand that
Oh.
are non-existent.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So my favorite moment was actually like I took the whole like role playing aspect of it because again, you know, like I studied creative writing minor in college and everything, so I like the idea of like building characters and I love character things. So discarding Glyph, who's already dead and non-existent, once Crad came into the picture and I had like crafted him and I saw his personality, I saw that he was kind of like prior to his Oathbreaker's development.
Right.
He was very close to what Varric is or was, you know, is in that moment. So that relationship between Varric and Crad that happened organically without Varric knowing, without Alex knowing, really worked towards Crad's favor in his redemption arc because I had a whole lot of fun because there's this one part where like we go to see the hag right in the woods and Crad is and it's his first time with the group and he's like basically fucking dying. He's about to die and Varric goes to him and he goes, this is no place to die and heals him. And then I played a callback on that when we were in Lulu's memory. And like, you know, and like Varric, like basically he tries to like blind the creature and he fucks up and he feels very responsible because he's trying to like redeem himself and he's just like, he goes like full on trying to like cut the tail off. And Varric's about to die, so he gives him his whole healing powers and he like repeats, you know, like basically callbacks like, this is no place to die, my friend. Right. Because in the whole situation in my role play, like Varric was the only character in the party that didn't give Crad any fucking attitude or like any like shittiness,
right?
for fucking existing compared to like everybody else. No, hold on, sorry. And Orin was indifferent, but Varric was like, I am such a man of honor that I will like, you know, give the benefit of the doubt to this character. Right. Like Quintessence and Karpak were total dicks to him. So
it's called roleplay.
It's called my personality.
It's called you're not Glyph anymore.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. So like, because you guys were total dicks to Crad, and part of Crad's personality was like, you fuck with me, like you're done.
Right.
Like that's why when there was at one point where you guys were like, why is he always helping Varric and like not us? Because Varric fucking like saved my life. Right. So he earned my respect. Right. So I just like played off the whole time, all the way up until the end where like things kind of like evened out and we were all kind of like finally a team. So that was my favorite part, like the non-communication. Not just the arc, but like that like understanding between Varric and Crad that like maybe Alex wasn't even fully aware of. But like me as I was playing Crad, I was like, you know, like this is like the one guy he respects. Right. In the party, which is why he whispers, "If it's not you, it's anybody," as he tries to take Zariel's sword.
And it's like,
classic Alex.
Yeah, and I think that plays well also because both of your characters were very what's the word I'm looking for? Like quiet and like to themselves type situation, and you have like that mutual connection.
Even that sort of like understanding, right? That quiet understanding.
Even though you guys were in like completely different spectrums of like the evil versus good type situation. Yeah. I love when stuff like that happens organically. You know, like play off of those moments, man. That's what D&D.
Well, I mean, I hooked on to that because, like, again, Quintessence and Karpak were so angry at Crad for showing up.
Who the fuck are you?
And getting Glyph killed. It was like, dude, like, I try to help him. Y'all gotta calm down, man. Like,
I think it's because we also like. I definitely did not understand at first that you were just killing off your character. Yeah. I was like, what the hell?
I might have had something to do with that and doing it too suddenly. All right, guys, we're gonna start this adventure, and Glyph is dead.
And literally stepped over his corpse.
Heather, not just you. Like I myself, as Glyph's former god that was controlling him, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? Like I thought it was gonna be
a subject.
Right, like I thought Jose was gonna be like, you know, Crad, Glyph, and like there's a fight. Like he'll take over Glyph and I'll take over Crad, or something will happen. No, Glyph just gets thrown aside, and he's like, you're Crad now, and I'm like,
that's not how it works, man. I'm like, you want your character dead? He's dead.
He's dead. He is dead as a doornail.
We ended that session, and I went to sleep in fetal position. Is what happened. Like,
I will never ask.
Just like that.
I will never.
Jose will just murder you.
I will never ask Jose to change my character again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I should have stayed a bard, just supporting everybody.
Now, to be fair, I specifically laid out when I changed my character, I do not want him to die. I want him to stay behind.
Again, that's like the newbie like shit,
Yeah.
right? Like he was just like, you want to kill him off, and I was like, I guess.
Honestly,
He was like, hey, and he was just like, okay, and I was just like, oh, okay.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
You wanna kill him up? Yeah, before you even
I was like,
finish.
I want to traumatize the group. I didn't realize it would backfire on the new incoming character.
Yeah.
Steps on a landmine, just
Yeah. You showed up like our dude just died. We don't care about you. Who are you?
Takes his shield, takes his sword,
Yeah.
and then when you're in the Emporium, he's like, actually, I fucking killed him, because he's still kind of a douchebag because
Yeah.
he hasn't had any social interaction for 40 years.
40 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
that was my justification for how I acted, because I'm like, okay, Glyph is cool, and then here comes this guy with
Yeah.
Kite and Harriman behind him, and then gets Glyph killed, and then immediately
And
like
takes his
starts
stuff.
robbing his corpse.
Yeah.
Video
I
game,
love-
you don't just immediately lose.
I
the
love
corpse.
the contrast when Andrew changed Ludovico. He was like, guys, this is it. Here's my sword. Here's my whatever. You guys, I have to take care of my. And then with fucking Glyph, this is that. All right. Here's Craig.
Right, and here's the thing, like what I imagined, like I thought you guys were gonna like question him or like like have some kind of like dialogue where like Crad was gonna be able to explain to him explain himself, or like he wasn't gonna give the full details where he like
Right.
abandons Ariel and Lulu, but he was gonna be like, I've been down here for 40 years, I'm in survival mode, like
Yeah.
fuck y'all, but like I'm with y'all, but like
Right.
fuck y'all.
Right. I'm here to strengthen numbers type situation.
Right, like I'm here to survive along with you, and then eventually kind of like become a part of the party.
Right. Yeah.
But you guys never had that interaction with him, so he was just kind of like, all right, then fuck y'all.
Yeah. I think honestly,
except for Barrett, who saved my life,
yeah. I think
and Oren, who said nothing mean to me.
he was too busy making writing spells into his spell book. But like honestly,
Yeah. Oren's like, guys, meet Crad, and he's like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's a new bar. Got it.
Some paladin that has like, sorry, hold on.
Walks up to you and he's like, "Hey, you got ink? No? All right, get away from me."
Well,
Hey, what's up, me shield? All right, anyways.
but Andrew, what's worse though? What's worse, killing a character
You liar,
or
I
not
already
killing a
fed you.
character and having him come back at the end and be?
I fed her already, yeah.
I rather Ludovico fucking died because it was such an embarrassment.
I always imagine that scene in Endgame where like Hulk goes back in time and you're, oh god, that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. Like he's like, I mean like that was like.
I never
man,
leveled him.
like,
Yeah.
I'm a new person now. I got control of my anger.
I'm a new me. I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But like honestly, guys,
Ludovico like trying to stab things and his dagger's like bending. Like
It's made out of leather.
seven damage. God damn it, dude. Can you just like
just go home,
But
Ludovico.
like,
Yeah.
honestly, guys, for me, because if in case you didn't notice, this was the first campaign that I ran that I actually kill things other than creatures and monsters. Like it's always been very like whimsical to an extent where you guys are like, yeah, we're the heroes. Nothing bad is ever gonna happen. Maybe to my companion, but not to me. But this time, like,
say how many of them are...
just so you guys know, Andrew was like, hey man, just if you have to do it, right? Because I told him like this game is really like this is built very harshly. Should I tone it down? He's like, no, man, don't do that. Don't worry about it. Just go for it.
don't pull any punches.
And I took that and fucking ran with it. It's like, okay, fine, fuck it, you all gonna die. So it was a big challenge for me. I've never done that before, including like killing characters mid-fight. Like that was not. I still like wasn't comfortable doing it. It just played out well.
Can
How
I
many
add a
of my
subsect?
pets have
Sorry,
you
sorry.
murdered?
What was that?
How many of my tiny companions have you murdered in campaigns?
Like all of them.
Like,
pretty much.
Listen.
Every
Kinda
single... I have had dozens
You
of pets.
send them
Murdered
into
them all.
danger. What do you think is gonna happen?
I do
Except
not.
the goblin. He
First,
didn't die.
first of all, playing a PHB Beastmaster Ranger was your fault.
That's true.
I think I had more companions when I was like a Triton monk, though. I had like
Yeah.
four
You had like
pets at one
a
point.
snake, a fucking dragon
I had a
thing,
Like the small dragon.
a chicken. Wasn't
And a
wasn't there
small
a chicken in there
dragon.
too?
I had Yeah, we had
Oh, yeah,
chaos
the
chicken.
octopus.
Chaos
I had an
chicken.
octopus. Oh, I miss chaos chicken.
What
Oh,
was
the
the goblin's
octopus.
name? The goblin that was
Oh!
supposed to become like a
Beto.
paladin or something?
Beto.
Beto, yeah.
Beto.
Beto's the
Beto.
goblin. He survived though. He's fine.
He did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a big shift in tone for me, and hopefully it worked out well for you guys. You seem to have fun, so there's that.
I liked it.
Yeah. Anyway, so next is Howard.
Well, actually, that's a really good transition
There you
because I really actually, and my favorite part was, especially in the beginning, how difficult. I mean, I guess backstory is I really like difficult games. Like I like
Yeah.
stuff to actually be a challenge, and those initial fights were just like some of the most memorable for me. Like especially, we already mentioned it, but like, I guess just we make all these characters. Like we had our session 0, we made these characters. We're so excited about them. We're like, oh, this is gonna be great. He's gonna be so strong, and then we go into that first fight. And Andrew just gets one shot, just immediately.
And that was
Oh,
really high
man.
rolls too.
It was it definitely shouldn't have happened, but just seeing Andrew like, all right, I'm gonna go help, and he goes in and he like tries to stab someone and then misses and then immediately gets one shot, and I just think that really kind of covered the beginning of the campaign. I enjoyed that. I really like when they're difficult combat encounters. I think that was probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, so backstory on that when I was preparing for the adventure, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, probably have. I watched like the roll 20%, how they ran it, they changed some things. I read the guides, I read all their DMs, subreddits about the game, stuff like that. And everybody, 90% of people were like, that first encounter is too tough. You guys have to change it, turn it down. Even if you have 7 players, my players just couldn't get past it, blah, 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 so forth, so forth. There was like one guy who was like, don't turn it down. Just play the way it is. It's like that for a reason. And I told that to Andrew, and Andrew's like,
Do it.
run it.
Of course,
run
it was
it.
Andrew that had to do it too.
No. He wasn't the one that he affirmed the what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so it was like everybody fucking changed it, and most people that run it as is, their characters died, and then they had to make new characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's also a part in the very beginning of the game that people were bitching about, because it's like Captain Such hires you, and if you don't do what he wants you to do within like a certain, like if you start like, oh, let's go explore whatever, he will send 7 veterans, which are pretty high for our level 1 party, to get you guys, and if you guys don't go along with them, they'll kill you. So people were like, oh, so if they don't do the main quest, then you have to kill him. What the hell, railroad kind of bullshit is it? And like in the back of my head, I'm like, well, it is the Flaming Fist, and if you're playing the module, it's because people are expecting to go into the adventure, so they probably should be doing what there's. So like the whole beginning was very much like, if they die, they die. Like, that meme, like if he dies, he dies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very much like that. And at first I was like, maybe I should tone it down. And I'm so glad I didn't. I just went with it because it led to so many like amazing things. Yes, Armando.
Yeah, sorry. Can I add a disclaimer? If you're a DM and adding a brand new, like complete noob, like like first time D&D player like myself, and you want to do Descent into Avernus, be aware that you will forever ruin them. Because if I play anything that's easier than Descent to Avernus, I am gonna be bored as heck.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
I had such a blast with the struggle, like the emotional turmoil. Like,
yes.
Good, because like that was the goal really, and I feel like it seems, and I don't know, maybe Andrew can affirm this, but it seems like that's the direction that Wizards of the Coast is going, making things more challenging, more Dark Souls type stuff, which I appreciate. But like the fact that you guys went down and then you paid 2,000 gold pieces to a fucking cleric to bring you back. I think it was Oren, to bring Oren back. Was perfect.
I died.
For 2 things, and here's why. When you guys asked how much it was gonna be, I couldn't find the spot in the book that said the actual price, so I just blurred out 2,000 gold pieces, which I thought you guys were
overcharged.
Which I thought you guys were gonna be like, wait, that's not right. But you guys went along with it. It's like, okay, fine, we'll just put it in the Captain Such's bill. And
That's right.
in the back of my head, I'm like, they went along with it. They didn't even question it. And like, I'm just like, this whole time, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna play out so well because they're gonna come back to Captain Such.
It wasn't 2000. It was 10,000.
No. The first time was 2000. The second revival that you guys did.
That's right. We're like, oh, we'll
was
just put it on his bill.
Yeah,
That was-
you guys didn't even question it. Which, by the way, again, a commoner makes 15 silver pieces a week. So 10,000. That's like at the end of the game, you have 10,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's
And
like a house.
That's a retirement.
Yeah,
fund.
that's a
How
that's a
how
small
did we get
castle.
around that? I don't remember how we got around that. By selling the ship? Or no,
you
we got
made
the
us
ship.
do
What was
stuff.
it?
No,
He wants the ship.
we
He wants the ship. We
forfeited
still have
all.
the ship.
We forfeited all of our treasure from there on out.
A lot of the treasure, yeah. Which luckily for you guys, it was Tiamat's treasure. But for the most part, yeah, you guys give it to Captain Such. And then towards the end, when you guys finally finished his quest, he did pay you back like what you were owed or whatever. But a lot of the treasure that you guys were so cocky. We're like, oh, we got this much money, we got a ship, it's gonna be great. And then you walk in. That's another favorite part of mine. You walk into his office, and he's just pissed. He's just like, the fuck
We
is
didn't
this
expect
bitch?
consequences.
He was that
Was
the police captain that yells at the younger police guy. You know what I mean? Like that, like very like the vein is showing. He's sweaty and he just don't stop screaming. That's I love that.
Damn it, Arn, you're a loose cannon.
I kind of feel like that was Glyph's fault. He was just like, I'm here to talk to you.
Yeah, no, you guys.
Wasn't it?
No, you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys were just so cocky because you're like, oh, we got this in the bag. We did all this stuff. It's gonna be great. Oh, it was glorious.
Fuck
but yes,
Glyph. I'm sorry. I was not having fun with Glyph.
it's okay. I'm glad that was your favorite part, Howard, because yes, I think a Baldur's Gate was very much Baldur's Gate to a T. Like it really played out to what
It
Baldur's Gate
set a
was.
good tone too.
Yeah, because like
Of,
even
like the difficulty level, which is
yeah, and even when you
so
guys leveled up, you guys level 3 or whatever, and you went down to the sewer system to find the dead 3 cultists.
That
Like
was hard, too.
the very first fight, you fucking got your shit handed to you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and then that was the beginning of the fucking
Limping around.
dungeon, and you guys like, oh, it was great. Anyways, so Howard, Andrew, you're next.
All right, so you can definitely tell that me and Howard are like old school
Masochist?
D&D players.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
old school D&D
Okay,
players
Grandpa.
because my favorite part was also getting my ass handed to me.
Oh,
Like,
good. Okay.
okay.
I'm taking notes for like the next time. I was like, what the fuck?
Please
I know.
do.
I know the joke was like, oh, I spent all this time making this character, and I'm like bummed out that he died, but I was secretly loving it. I'm like, no, Jose, let him fucking die. Set the tone. Set the tone.
set the tone.
Wait,
It's
Andrew,
worth it.
did we ever tell them about the plan we had for session 1?
No.
You want to go ahead?
Okay, so okay, so Jose told me that he told me there was an event where a character can die. He didn't say the whole
didn't want it too
thing.
specific, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go to specific. So I was going to make a character who was just like a normal champion fighter, and then be like, yeah, he's got like this like really elaborate backstory. Then have him fucking die, and then have my real character come in. But that's what we just should have just done.
You should have
It
just
worked
done
out
that.
way.
Yeah.
But no, but like I loved the very first fight where I just died and I just sat out for the rest of it. And I love the Dead 3 cultist fight. It's like I was afraid.
Yes,
Like the
exactly.
For the
Yeah.
first time, I was afraid, and I'm like, this is giving me like 3.5 vibes. I'm feeling
Yes.
so fucking
You could
nostalgic.
literally die here and lose your character. I need those
Oh.
stakes.
I'm like, I love this. I have to be smart.
Yes.
Like, I can't just throw
I have to think
myself.
about my
There-
turn very carefully.
Yeah, there has to be risk involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that one of us just moved a little bit out of the way in one room, essentially caused a domino effect to have Orin get decapitated by one of the
That's
cultists.
right. Yeah.
Well, you didn't
It
get
was like-
decapitated, but yes, you got.
He was, I mean, practically.
Got
But I
one
was just
shot,
like,
pretty much.
I was just like,
Yeah.
wow. This
Yeah, when
is
the whole room
awesome.
collapsed, right?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I think
There was the old lady. Remember the old lady that you guys rescued, quote unquote.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
that
Turned
did
out to be
like
like
something.
a hag.
That
No.
did something
Yeah.
like 50 damage to him or some
Yeah.
crap like that. Oh yeah, no, that was definitely my favorite. My favorite part was just like I'm so afraid. I love it.
that was the sewage system was another part because every enemy here there had an aura around them that you guys couldn't see that would apply. I think it was like it would double the damage every time.
Wow.
And
Okay.
to be honest, I kind of forgot because I was like halfway through and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to apply the extra damage. And that's when they started hitting really hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because people were like, don't do that. Like, turn off that. Don't do the R. And I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Where's the wizard?
Or like particularly where the part where Glyph's like, I'm gonna go in this room and fight some skeletons. Oh no, it's fucking full of skeletons.
But no. But I played that off so well though. He played that off so well. He's like, don't worry, guys. Hey, take an extra 20. And then I'm like, guys, we gotta get the next level.
Yeah.
You were like sneaking or something, right? Like they didn't see you. Or...
Oh no, they
Yeah.
saw me. No. Like
No.
I burst into the room but I was disguised as one of them.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
this was
They were-
under this was under the
Oh
villa.
yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, what's going on? And I was like, hey guys, we're just gonna give you an extra 20, 30 minutes of break. We got it from here. We just we're like pumped with adrenaline. We got you guys.
Yeah.
Just chill. And I like slowly close
And it
the
worked.
door and like, I say,
It worked.
yeah, and
It fucking worked.
Yeah, it worked. And then I tell the whole party like, we need to get the fuck out of here, guys. Like I just lied
That's
my
what-
ass off. They're gonna come out in 20 minutes and we're gonna die. There's like 50 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like we walked into a room and we saw a whole bunch of people and we weren't immediately like, oh man, fresh meat. We were like, oh my fucking god, we are so
Yeah, we're not like, oh,
outnumbered.
just burning hands and when we're good. Like,
Yeah.
Slowly close the door.
I think
Oh,
this was
God.
like the first campaign we didn't just try to like
Kill
clear
everything.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
You left
You were
a lot of
definitely more
stuff.
cautious.
Yeah. Yes. Did I graduate, Andrew? Am I a better DM now? Little
Yeah.
gold star on the forehead. All right, Alex, you're next.
Oh man, so it's definitely two parts that were my favorite, but I think the most favorite it was getting hasted for the first time as Varric. Like when
That's
Warren
you.
was like, Varric, haste, and I was like, what the hell? Okay, that sounds great. And I read it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is broken.
Was
That
that
is-
was that at the bridge? I can't remember.
It was the bridge, yeah. So the first
Yeah.
time was the bridge, and there's
Oh
one
my
guy on like the
God.
close side, and then like another guy like down on the other side of the bridge. And I also used action surge at that time, so I had like 4 attacks at that time. And I've never played like a character that like just destroys everything like Varric. And I was like, okay, slash. Wait, I have 2 more attacks. I'm gonna use aggression and dash towards this other guy and kill him, and then just takes everybody out. I'm like, oh my god, what just
That was so
happened?
cool.
I just remember that part because you're like, can I do this, this, and this, and this, and everybody just stopped, and it was like,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
wait,
We're like,
you
we're
want
like,
to do
no,
what?
it's
And then
it's legal. He could do it.
Andrew
You can do that,
confirmed
yeah.
it. And I look at it again
Yeah.
in my head. It's that meme of the Halo guys. Wait, that's illegal. That was brutal, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite part.
Yeah,
I was
that
just
was.
like, this is unbelievable.
That was.
And that was the first time I uttered. That should have been a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Champion fighter idea would have been really bad because you would have missed your fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Shit. Okay. Everybody, roll me initiative for the next question in line.
This initiative idea is a good idea.
Crab,
two again.
Mondo has
Ooh.
18.
I rolled a
Seven.
20.
I got
Damn it!
Oh.
I got a 17.
Wow.
I got an 18.
I got 2
20.
again.
Alex, what is happening? Andrew, you said 17.
Yeah.
Heather.
1.
Oh. Ooh.
Yes.
All right, Howard, you're next. you're first up. What was your least favorite part of this adventure?
My
What-
least favorite part?
Yeah, your least favorite. You want to hurt my feelings, I promise.
My least favorite part.
I already know mine.
Every other
Wow.
part besides Baldur's Gate.
You already know. Wait.
Alex has got a list.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see the book. There we go.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. My least favorite part. I don't know if I could pick a part, but I would say like towards the end when we got a little too powerful. I think may have been the part that I started being like, okay, this is like a little too easy. We would come into an encounter and we'd be like, oh, we can take care of it. Like when,
Right.
For example, when we got to that, when we kind of went back in time,
Uh-huh.
And-
Yep.
and there were like all these like crazy things happening around us, and we were just kind of like face rolling like through the whole thing, and there were like these like giant like creatures all over the place, and it just wasn't a problem.
I don't
I think this-
think that's how Varric remembers it.
I
You
guess
and me
that's
remember that village very differently.
I don't know. Like maybe that was not a good example, but I just remember having a much easier time towards the end.
You
and
did
like
do
when that starts to
74
happen-
damage. Just saying.
That's true.
So I get it.
I forgot about that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just it's not your fault. It's just more of a consequence
Right.
of higher level play.
Right, which is
I think
I think it's the biggest challenge really. And I was talking to Andrew about this because we're talking about a possible Curse Strahd Part 2 thing, where he wants to he wants to, and let's not go into this too deep, but essentially he wants to like start at a higher level than 1, but not necessarily past where we're like 11. And I want to go past 11 into 20 and plus because I never like that's brand new to us. And if all it takes is just putting in more monsters, you know, maybe that's a challenge. But anyways, but yes, towards end of campaigns, and maybe that's why Wizards of the Coast usually ends their adventures between 10 and 13, because at that point, literally, you're essentially a superhero god type situation.
Yep.
You know,
And it just becomes math at that point.
Right,
Like
right.
it's the same thing, but with more people
Right.
and more dice. Like.
Yeah, and I
don't know.
think this is where Wizards falls short a bit, because if there were more interesting monsters that can like undercut that, like, oh, you're too powerful, and like kind of like, I mean, just imagine just if a beholder showed up, you have no magic now, Oren, what are you gonna do?
Right. Yeah. No,
You know?
I love that. Like, let's get some more spells in there, like
Yeah.
silence or
Yeah.
like things that really mess
Right.
you up.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
Um,
that's a good point, and I'm definitely keeping all of this that you guys are saying in touch. But yes, you're higher level, you are more powerful. But yes, I can understand, especially because you like to play Dark Souls and that kind of crap.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a scaling issue for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So it's not really my fault. That's good.
No, no, that's just a D&D thing, really.
Yeah. And Armando, you're next.
Least favorite part. I think honestly, it would be the lack of role play interaction with Crad once he came in. Like just the lack of curiosity from the party itself. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, like I was expecting to like have to be like, I was expecting to be like, you know, like yeah, but like you know, like super emo,
You
like
want it-
bullshit.
You wanted
Like
more.
I've been down here 40 fucking years. Like I hate my life. I'm just somebody fucking kill me, but I can't help it. Like I can't stop myself from like surviving. This mofo's been chasing me for 40
Right.
years.
Right.
And then they could have been like, well, he actually like came at us, and we're like, well, let's fucking like kick his ass
Yeah,
or
you,
something like that.
you wanted more probing into your backstory, which is fair. It's really,
which I only got a chance to like explain once we were trying to pull Zerial's sword out of the stone.
right. Which is it's fair, and I think that has to do with the fact that it was a very high level character that came in like more than halfway through the game, which is a lot harder to probe in, especially for this group, because this group is a group that very much likes to just hit things and solve puzzles. You know, there's different D&D types of groups out there. I feel like a thespian group is one that you would enjoy a lot more.
I like the role playing aspect a lot, but I also
Yeah.
like kicking ass a lot too. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
No,
kinda- it's like a 50-50, which is why I switched from Glyph to Krat, because I was like, I'm not having fun with Glyph. He's too weak.
Right.
And then Krat comes in and he's like making 46 damage at one point, and I'm like, all right, now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You get like a 24 DC.
Yeah,
whatever, like-
exactly.
Yeah, with the shield.
Bananas.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
By the way, you had that fucking shield, and the whole time, like, how am I gonna fucking destroy this shield? Like, get it back on my head.
I kept telling you, like, use the shield to like even like fuck with me.
I kept forgetting there's a special ability for the shield that will make.
I sent it to you like 3 times.
I
and
know,
3
I know.
And you were like, and you would have been like, why are you messaging me?
I know, and I'm like,
I
oh
was just
wait.
like, I was like, oh, DM, well, forget it.
I have definitely had moments where I accidentally gave an overpowered magical item. Like, shit, now I got to come up with some way to get rid of it.
I honestly should have done what I did at the end of the game when you guys first met Arkan. You know, where he just like destroyed the shield and absorb its soul.
Yeah.
That would have made it a little bit more challenging for you. I mean, you
like
still
the shield
you
too. I
still
thought
would
there
have
was
had
something there.
yeah, you still would have had 19 fucking AC. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, and the shield was great. It just like a lot of the enemies would absorb fire, so it was like
Yeah.
pointless to use my action
Well,
on the fire.
honestly,
True.
and honestly, and I'm gonna reveal here a bit. Yes, there was a lot of enemies that would absorb fire, but by the same token, there it is. There was a lot of enemies that would look like they would absorb fire, but they wouldn't.
They would just
Yeah.
take damage.
They will take the full
Okay.
damage. Yeah, it's just it's weird. You will think like, oh, all devils are immune to fire, but no. Sometimes it's just resistance versus immunity. You know, it's that's why it's unless you ask me and kind of late, obviously, but like unless you would have been like, oh, can I do a nature check to see what they're, you know, and I feel like this is something that all of you guys should probably take advantage of, because that's a very fair thing to ask. Like, hey, can I? It could be taken to like, do I know this creature? Do I know its weakness? Or after fighting for so many rounds, can I deduct if there's any weaknesses? You know, so
right, and probably Crad being there for years, he could have had an advantage of like, identifying creatures or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, that's like my first time player.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, that's
but I was happy with the AC, so I was just like, I just won't use a fire.
Just fucking
my DM is not taking advantage of the fact that it can like talk to me and like psych me out.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna hold this on my back and like double hand my attacks all the time.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it was a lot of moments that I'm like, oh, that's right, the fucking shield. The shield had an ability to essentially give you all guys a disadvantage.
Mm. Oh wow.
Yeah, and I kept forgetting.
It could have frightened everybody around me. Right?
Yeah,
you would have tossed that thing down a down
I
river.
kept forgetting. Like after the encounter happened, I'm like, fuck, I should have used the whatever the ability, and like every time.
And it was like a 30 for damage. So unless you were or 60, so like unless you were within 10 feet of Crad, because he had the aura of whatever, of protection.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you wouldn't be affected by the fear. But if you were above that, you'd be like, everybody would be away from like Crad, and like Crad would be completely vulnerable and a target.
Yeah, and but you know, you live and learn, I guess. But yes, no, I can completely agree with the lack of probing to your character backstory. And this is something that Andrew always like reminds me that I have to give more chances for roleplay moments between the players. Yeah, between the players, including like I think early on, you know, like it's simple things like you guys are around like a campfire, you know, like it's been a long day. Do you guys talk to each other? Like I need to start implementing that more often, and I keep forgetting because in my brain is, oh my god, there's this big set piece that's coming up. I need to get the players there. You know, but then that eliminates a lot of the character building moments in between. So that's
I did enjoy when
you could
we
have
brought.
had like
Huh?
Go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you could have brought like a sandstorm in at some point, like we had to hunker down and then we get some character background, or like just those moments to like stop and like actually have characters interact. Or it's like a forced moment.
The slow moments, which are very important, I think, and
my brain is again like. Right, and on the whole role playing thing, like Crad was like a complete like newbie to this group. Like he didn't even know what they were after. He was just like, I gotta like more people.
My best chance to survive. Yeah.
Right, and I was hoping like at one point they were like, oh no, we're here to help Zerial, and he would have been like, oh shit, like I hit gold, like I'm like I can redeem myself because his whole point is like subconsciously before we killed off the knight, like he's just like survival mode.
Right.
But the second it's dead, he's like, wait. So like now I'm this like guy that grows skeletal wings, and his eyes glow dark. I started after we finished the campaign. I was like, it should have been like his eyes glow dark and like black tears come down.
Right, like
because
that very demonic look. Yeah.
Right, because he doesn't really want to be an oath breaker, but he just shat himself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like stuff like that I think it would have been helpful for Krat specifically.
Yeah, I can see that 100%.
Yeah, I'd say probably a good example of that would be, remember when we were like interrogating that dude in Orange Shop?
Interrogating
fun of my store the entire time.
Yeah, you're like, guys, we're trying to get information on. Like, did you see this book?
It's like, oh man, this place is really run. Does anyone even come in here? Like,
yeah, man, what a shit heap.
I feel like I was the only one that was excited because you had like technical diagrams. Over here.
And I was like, oh, the first people to come and visit, and they're just like completely just destroying everything I've worked for.
What are friends for?
Didn't one of us get like a manga and like sat on the floor?
In one of the hallways.
I think that was a good example. Like that was a very good moment.
Yeah.
Playing off your joke, Andrew. Just this is just for Heather. That manga was specifically a Naruto manga.
Oh yeah, just to piss
It's $7.
Before
Just
we
fucking
left,
buy
I
it.
used to start the fire.
It's actually $7.99. Okay, but yeah, no, I 100%. I agree with that. So because we're reaching high time right now, let's kind of move on to Alex, so we can move on to the next. Sorry to interrupt. Andrew.
So my the moment I didn't like was when Lulu.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
You killed her.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. It was Andrew's turn, but yeah, go ahead.
That's
Alex.
fine, that's fine.
When I
You
killed.
killed Lulu, damn it.
All right, next question.
That about sums it up.
Was that
Yeah,
really the your least favorite part?
So, I think so. Yeah, like it had to be that because like afterwards, like Heather and I literally talked about that for like an hour after the campaign. Like, we can't believe that Jose just did that. Like randomly, like all of a sudden, and Lulu's dead. We're like, what? Like how are you gonna do that?
Like not down, dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, are you
I never
just
wanted to fight you so bad.
just like incapacitated dead? You're like, no, dead.
Nope, just dead.
Oh, okay.
Gone.
To
Powder.
be fair,
she was-
the reason it was so sudden is because I forgot, like I forgot how little life she had in that role. You know, because like before, I think it was her turn before or something. She could have healed herself. I completely forgot how little life she had, and then the damage was so high that even after she shapeshifted back to Lulu, all the way down and then double. So I was like, oh.
It was a no shit moment.
Yeah, it's like, whoops.
It was,
But
it was a code-
it played out well because you guys were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No, like,
that's good.
I totally meant to do that.
Consequences.
Yeah.
She was our guide the whole time, and we were like kind of relying on her, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get my memory back, and like I know this, and this, and we're gonna take you guys. I know exactly where to go, and dead, and we're like, what do we go now?
What is my purpose now? You passed the
And
bar.
I think it was
Exactly.
partially our fault too, because she was hurt and we
Yeah.
could tell.
Yeah.
But we weren't like actively like trying to protect her, and she
Yeah.
died, and it was a
Yeah.
consequence. So
Yeah, exactly. Like we didn't expect that or like think it could happen. So
Yeah,
we're just like,
you
oh.
guys know that I like to describe when somebody's very hurt. So
Yep.
it was out
And
there.
you did.
Yeah.
It was there. Yeah.
we just didn't pay attention to it at all.
If anything, Krat should have been like backing her up from the beginning because of the past. Like he should have been
Right.
like, I gotta protect Lulu.
But like,
But
I
I didn't. Not even I made that connection.
She
Yeah.
can't die. She's a cute NPC that's guiding us through Avernus. There's no way.
Exactly.
That could turn into a mammoth.
Yeah.
So like,
That was your first
I
mistake.
think
I literally.
I figured if she's in danger, she'll just like mammoth up. Like,
No, she
you
was
know,
already a
like-
mammoth. And like,
Oh, that's how she died. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot. That's right. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like a Skyrim like important NPC thing where it passes out, but then after the encounter, it's like, oh, man,
Nope.
what happened? You know?
Wake again.
the next.
Fucking dead.
I love the next session. You guys were like, "Okay, we're gonna try to find a way to heal her, bring her back somehow. Let's try." And I'm like, I'm describing how her body just disappears into the nether.
Well, I mean,
Right.
not just that. Like both Quintessence and Krat had a revivify without
Right.
a diamond, and you can only revive a creature
Within a
1
certain
minute
time. Yeah.
within a minute of its death.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like.
I wasted a spell. Like I got that after.
Me
I was
too.
Like, fuck this from ever happening again. I am done, Jose. Damn it.
I never gave up Revivify just in case Lulu died again. Like, and especially once I got that 3,000 gold diamond.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm holding on to this spell and this diamond like it's my life.
Just in case.
I was literally like doing accounting, like trying to like add up all of our inventory. Like, can I just trade it all for her?
Take everything.
Take it. Fuck.
I don't need any of this. Just bring back a
Who
little.
needs material possessions?
Oh, and finally, Andrew, your least favorite part.
Finally.
I would honestly have.
Wow, I haven't
Yeah.
done yet.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
What are you?
Oh no,
You're-
you roll one. Sorry. So actually,
You're
it is
last.
it is Andrew. I'm sorry. I thought you already went. My bad. Andrew. Finally,
Okay,
let's move on. All right, Andrew. What's
That's all the important questions out of the way. Let's go. But I would have to say honestly, my least favorite part was probably the hag encounter.
okay?
Because you said that we were gonna go into like the bone brambles and speak to this hag, and I'm like, oh man, like because like I sort of metagamed a little bit. I'm like, man, hags always want something. So I'm like, what is a hag that's in like the first circle of hell gonna want from us for this deal? Oh, she just wants a bath. I'm like, she just wants a spa day, and I'm like,
Is that what it was in the book?
guess
She
Yep,
just-
Yeah.
that's exactly
Oh.
what it was in the book.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's-
I was just like, oh, okay.
it took a bit to get to her too. Like we had to go
Yeah,
through all those.
Oh, yeah.
it's like-
Yeah, it was
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
the part getting to her was much more exciting than the actual.
You guys
encounter
turned right and
itself.
like this
We almost
fucking
died.
man will just come out and try to get you. It's like, nope, not that way. This way.
And she was so non-haggy too. She was just kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, hey guys.
like I was expecting something out of like what's it, Robert Eggers, like The Witch or something like that, where it's like, you know, and I don't know, it just that part felt like, okay, Wizards of the Coast, you can be a little bit darker. There's nothing wrong with that, especially because it's in hell.
Yeah, I can agree with
No,
that.
definitely the part where me and Varric walked literally 5 feet away, and then everybody else got attacked. We're just like, ah, we can't leave these guys for 5 fucking seconds.
We just looked away. That was all.
Yeah,
You look back and like Oren's being trapped by some like monster.
yeah, and Glint's getting attacked by a shambling man.
Right, no,
I'm
no,
like, what?
wasn't it Crud at that point?
think
Yeah,
it was-
it was Krata by that point.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
kinda-
and that's the other thing. Like,
No,
Crud
no,
had
no.
just like
No, it wasn't
The
Krata.
first time was Glyph.
The first time was Glyph. When you guys came back, it was Krat.
Okay,
I was like 10 fucking seconds. We were gone for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
All right, let's go fix this problem.
I like that moment. It was great. All right, Hacks. I can agree with that, and I feel, and honestly, a lot of the stuff that was in the adventure, like a lot of creatures like that. There was a lot of moments where, yes, I felt exactly that, like, oh, you're trying to be cute with something that they didn't expect with this kind of monster. You know, like even Bell. You know, when you guys met Bell, like he was still very human-like. He wasn't, and that's the way he was in the book, really. I played it a little bit more nonchalantly, but like he was very much like, hey, I'm the king of this, you know, like go do this. For
I'm
me.
supposed to be the king of
Right. Yeah, it was, and Wizards tends to do that a lot, and that's probably something to look into for the next time. But yes, now finally, Heather, what was your least favorite part?
All right, on to the next one.
Heather's like,
Alright, well,
frankly,
that's
this fucking interview.
Bro, I haven't eaten. All I've had today is a freaking grilled cheese, dude. Like I want to have dinner.
We're almost done. And by that I mean just like 2 more hours. No, I'm just kidding.
I cannot tell you how bad I wanted to like fight you after you killed Lulu.
Is it really?
I was like
Oh, okay, so same
genuinely pissed. Yeah, no, same answer. I just want to clarify. Like,
Double down
I
on
spent
that
2 days. Like, I've never been so fucking mad at Jose. Holy wow! I want to punch him right now. Like, I had to simmer down before the next session. I was like,
I'm sorry.
he's murdered so many of my pets, but that's a different one entirely. Like, damn it. But now I'm also a little jealous because I didn't get murdered as much as everyone else.
You're a
I mean,
robot.
What-
Well, hold on. In the dream, in the flashback,
You
I tried
got-
to protect
yeah,
you, and then
yeah,
completely screwed you over.
That's
You got-
right. You were completely
You
like,
you got completely crushed. You were a tin can, man. You were like
That
flattened
was
out.
only like once. Everybody else
And then
got
you got
shit
5
so
levels of
much.
exhaustion.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like Crash shows up like Crash shows up like a hero, like in a hero stance, and he's like, "I will protect Quintessence."
Nope.
3 turns later, Quintessence is flat on the ground, like just flattened out.
Yeah,
and he's
he
like,
did his best.
and he's like, "Huh."
The one didn't
Okay,
work.
so the steed thing.
So
Gotta stop summoning steeds. Gotta stop doing that thing. Just doesn't work in
Fine
my
steeds.
favor.
Yeah,
Just
don't use
doesn't work in my favor.
Fine Steed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
So let's roll for initiative again to move to the next question. But yes, I agree that you probably were the one that died the least, and I think that's only because you were a robot. So
Well, I also
power 9,
understood that I wasn't the tank,
right?
so I would not go straight into things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You
I
kept
got
your
a 9 as
distance.
well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because I understood I was hollow inside.
Alex, what you got?
I got 20 this time.
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So Howard and Andrew. Oh, Heather, what you got?
14.
14. Howard and Andrew need to reroll.
Okay.
I got 2.
7.
All right. 7.
Why was that funny? I don't know.
Okay. All right. Just so you guys know, my least favorite part of the whole adventure, from like a big picture perspective, was the fetch quest middle part. I should have fucking fixed that, but I was like, no, it's probably gonna play it out very well, like some of the other things. But it didn't. Like the whole big old go here, try here, go back.
The one small favor thing.
Yeah, I should have changed that.
That wasn't the Rod's fetch quest, right? Or was it?
Yeah, the Rods.
The Rods, yeah.
That whole.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm sorry. No. Well, yeah, it led to that, but
it led to that, but yeah, it was like the whole
in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
As from big picture, that was probably the weakest part of the whole adventure. All right, so now moving on to the next adventure, to the next question. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Why?
Why you do this?
Why'd you kill Lulu?
Why'd you kill Lulu?
Hold on. Alex, you go first.
Kill Lulu.
Oh man.
Anything, like if you ever had like any like, oh, I wonder what this was supposed to be, or like I wonder like if this was really supposed to, I have the book right here, I will read you the paragraph. Like,
oh man, I don't know. My big thing was Lulu. So
nothing else.
So if I had a question, could anyone else had become the angel instead of Varric, or it was only Varric because he was a good aligned, like lawful good type of character?
Anyone could have done that. Like that's how the book said it, you know. However, the way the story developed, it was such a beautifully organic build up to that moment. Like everybody expected Crad to do it. You know, that was like the thing.
I even expected Crad, like he's gonna grab it, like all this stuff's gonna happen.
I expected to. I was like, I give you my backstory. I was like, I got this. This is my redemption, the redemption moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I had before that session, I woke up in a cold sweat. I was just like, it can't be Crad. I was kidding, but like it was like because originally I was gonna give it to Crad. Like it made sense. Like, oh, he's duh.
Yeah.
But like the more I thought about it, the more I reread that section, the more you guys developed the way you were playing. Because in the beginning, actually, originally, I think I was gonna give it to. Actually, I don't think
Oren,
no, I don't think I had a. Oren. No, I think originally I didn't pick anybody. It was because I was like, oh, once I get to that bridge, I'll figure it out. But the way it just developed, at one point it clicked in my head, and I'm like. Anybody could have picked it up, and I think the fact that you guys were all expecting Crad to do it, and the quiet like solemn fighter in the background that has been like helping everybody and like not asking for anything back, very like I'm just here to help, I've read a good type situation. It was too perfect not to have like everybody just kind of like take their turn and then just turn around and just see a Varric in the background, just kind of like, oh, I guess I'm the last one type situation. It was too perfect to pass that.
Yeah,
but,
can I add to that?
Yeah.
Like I remember at one point, I think after the session ended and we started recording, you were like, like I thought about giving it to you, Crad, and I was like, no, like believe me, like narrative and storytelling wise, it just made sense that it went to Varric, and it made sense that like Crad fought so hard for it and still didn't get what he wanted because he wasn't ready for it. And even after the end of the campaign, once we're back at outside of Avernus, and like he's still not redeemed. Like like he still has he's still an oath breaker, and he has to go through his life either finding redemption or dying as an oath breaker.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why it played out so well, because like I feel like in a lot of like storytelling, and I've seen it in movies, a lot of movies recently, where like, oh, there's a problem and here's a solution right away. You know what I mean? It's always like that, and I feel like it was, again, I'm gonna say another, it was too perfect, and Andrew agrees with me with that too. We talked about it afterwards. I'm like, that was a beautiful storytelling moment. That just, it happened so organically too. It wasn't planned. It wasn't anything that like, oh, I'm gonna make sure that Varric gets to kill everything and blah blah blah, or like, oh, Brad, I'm not gonna.
He didn't even get to use the sword.
Honestly, yeah, you still got the powers.
I used the sword a couple times.
Yeah,
but you didn't get to.
No, you didn't.
You didn't get to like, oh, kill Sario or kill Tiamat with it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like,
oh yeah,
you delivered it. But either way, like you still had the powers and everything. But like it was just beautifully told. And
here's that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's like at that moment, it was honestly out of my hands. Like I was like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna regret it. Like
I genuinely.
Yeah, sorry, Heather. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I genuinely had like an emotional reaction at that moment.
That part
like
broke my heart.
It felt so it felt very organic, but like part of me still feels like the loss of that, which is a weird feeling of like it just
the way you said it when like it got like quiet and then you role played naturally that bit. I was like, oh my god, I'm killing a puppy right now. What am I doing? Who am I? it was so natural. I was just like, oh my god. And then you guys talking with each other, like that was any DM's dream. That whole moment there was just honestly one of the first times that I legit just stepped back and you guys did all the work. Like
actually, let me backtrack. That's actually one of my favorite moments because like role play wise and story narrative wise, Crad trying 3 times and then hearing the whisper of like you must release her.
Yeah.
And that becomes his goal, not obtaining redemption through obtaining her sword.
Not the material thing, but the actual.
The second you whispered or like as a DM you whispered that in Crad's ear, I was like, okay, I know what he's going for.
Yeah.
So when he's like kneeling down, just like sort of like drained, and like Varric's coming up and he literally whispers, if it's not you, it's nobody here.
Right.
Like I like me as a player and as a party member, as a player and as Crad, like he meant that like if it's not you, then we're fucked.
Right.
Like
right.
if it's not you, then I don't know who can do it because I thought it was me, but clearly it's not me.
Right.
And everyone tried it
yeah.
beforehand, and like I was like the last person. It was just like, is it me? Is this?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like everybody,
and also you didn't want it. Like Crad wanted it.
That
like,
was
it was
yeah.
That was the important part.
The second that it didn't work for Crad, I knew it had to be you. But then I was like, car pop, go.
Right.
I was like, wait, what?
Go.
Okay, I'll give it my best shot.
Because the other,
and as you're stepping next to like, Crad, just sort of like on the floor, he's like looking out at his like burnt hands, like completely like turned to like char, and he's like, if it's not you, it's like there's no hope. Like I don't remember what it said, but I don't even remember because I didn't have it planned. I was like, if it's not you, it's no one or something like that. And then he pulls it out, and Crad, like in my head, Crad was like a sense of relief because like he also wasn't ready. Like he just wasn't ready.
Right. Yeah. And I think the other layer to all this was the fact that the inscription on the stone was whoever claims the sword is no more. And in the back of all of you guys' head was whoever pulls the sword is going to die.
Yeah. For sure.
You guys didn't know that it was going to turn into a fucking angel.
And Crad's been like waiting to fucking die. Yeah, and Crad's been like,
I assumed it was
like
a personality takeover.
Right.
Oh, you thought that? I thought Crad was just gonna be like, and then like the sword was gonna be like.
Oh no, I just assumed it was gonna be like a you ascend kind of thing to this higher power.
Right.
See, I went very literal. Like Crad, like not being that enlightened, went very like I'm willing to fucking die to save.
And I think even Andrew was at that point. It was perfect. And yes, to answer your question, yes, anybody could have taken it. As a DM, I could have given it to fucking Oren to make it funny. But honestly, like I said, it was out of my hands. I stepped back and it played out beautifully, and I'm so glad it went that way because it was a beautiful moment. I mean, even Kevin was in the chat window, just kind of like, like it was so good. It was really good. It was like the kind of shit that you see.
I like let it cry.
It was like kind of shit you see in like Critical Role and all this. Like I never expect any of that shit to happen to my table, and it fucking happened. I was like, wow, that was amazing. I went to sleep that night. I had a dream. Like I replayed the whole fucking thing in my head. I woke up tired. I woke up with a head. I'm like, oh my god, I DM all night. What the hell? Like legit, I was so tired, but it was so good. But yes, anybody could have
cry. Like
I logged off that session feeling the most sort of satisfied story-wise, like narrative-wise, that I had felt throughout the whole campaign.
It was it was delivered. It was really good.
Yeah.
But yes. Next up is Armando. Any questions for the DM?
Honestly, I don't really have any questions because again, this is my first time. I know nothing. You've already spoken about the things that you gotta work on role playing wise and how this group is very much about like attack and kill. So I mean, I don't have any questions. I guess it's more of a statement where like I mean, and it makes sense. I'm a writer, script writer, creative writing minor. I like narrative. I like a lot of like character based storylines. so the moments that most shone for me were like those that
Those
were
bits,
like character and narrative based, right?
Yeah.
Those things, those like twists and turns that we weren't expecting, especially what we were just talking about. But no, I don't have any question. Honestly, as a first time player, having you as a DM was an absolute pleasure. You were always very helpful and welcoming, especially when I was having a hard time doing dash roll D1D20 or whatever. And then you're like, you can just click it on the right, on the left, and I was like, oh yeah. And then and that was like three sessions before
the game ended.
Right, and I still forgot to like go up to the left and just like click and roll it automatically,
Right.
which is probably what you all do. And I'm just like, dash, roll, space, and you're all like, okay, is he gonna roll? And I'm like, hold on, guys, hold on, backspace, 2d8, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
I don't have any questions, but except praise. Like, thank you so much for making my first adventure so enjoyable and so welcoming.
You're very welcome, and I'm glad. I mean, honestly, a campaign for a first-time player is usually a big thing. I personally think that you handle it well. Like
after glyph.
Well, you learn I feel like
I hated glyph so much, man.
Yeah, I feel like you learn a lot, and that's something that just happens as you play. There's no way me to tell you, oh, you're definitely gonna like a bard or you're definitely gonna like a paladin unless you actually.
Yeah, I'm never playing a bard again.
It's okay. I mean,
maybe down the future when I learn more about D&D, but like I couldn't play a bard well enough for me to enjoy
Bards
it.
are kind of tough.
They are. It's one of those classics that is hard to master. Like, yeah, you can do all this shit,
so
but
hard,
like,
dude.
yeah, and honestly, like I personally thought you did well. You weren't having a good time, and that's all you need to say was like, let's change. Like, that's perfectly.
You just massacred him, and I wasn't okay with that.
Because
I had an emotional attachment to my first D&D character.
Destroyed. and you're lucky that we weren't in person, because usually when we're in person, I take your character sheet and just rip it in half.
Oh, that's messed up,
it's
man.
brutal.
Oh my god,
it's brutal.
I had to blast my character to make sure the body was gonna be okay in freaking hell.
Not in person. Yeah. Okay, I think Heather, you're next. You have any questions for you have any questions for the Dungeon Master?
Yeah. What the hell is on the back of the soul coin?
So Bell is he essentially runs you saw it. He runs the forge for all of the Devil's Army. So the front is his mark. So when you're in the material world, a cultist put that mark, whatever it is that they're praising. Yeah. The back of it is I'm assuming the forge of the Devil's Army.
I don't know what way it goes. Like,
I think I lost.
Also, you can tell that I've had a custom paint job.
Yeah, I see that. I'm so glad you guys still have that.
I've hated it while we were playing the session. I just was like over here hitting it with some red buff.
It's a small leave behind for you guys. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I can probably do a little bit more research exactly as to which one of those things are. And if you guys would have asked in game, I probably would have paused real quick and look it up. But you guys were like,
question.
There's a soul.
Could I have done anything with my 15 soul coins that I had in my person as crap?
The main purpose of those was you can heal yourself.
That's what I thought, but I never needed it. At that point, I didn't need it.
I gave you guys a description.
I forgot.
No, I had it. I just forgot.
You can heal.
It does take the thing is, it does take an action, and I could have healed you a lot more than a 1d8.
Right, but it's one of those things that you just went through a really tough fight. I have 15 soul coins, absorb all of them type situation.
15d8 or
or 50.
It's an evil action to do.
It is an evil action, but Crad was evil, so
I could hold it. I didn't have a problem, so I could use it to heal anybody, and it would just be directed at that.
And then the other purpose of it was to trade with devils if you wanted to. Like it's a lot for them. It's a very valuable thing, and to power your war machines that you barely get to use because I'm a terrible DM.
Yeah.
But yes. So is that your question, really, Heather? That's it?
I mean, that's really my main question. Also, if Orin had become evil, would we have then named him Ornery?
That's a good question. It was very
I said I'll allow it as a DM. Yes, it'll happen.
Yeah.
That
you
is
can retcon that one.
that is canon now. Yeah.
Throw that out there.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Howard, you're next. Anything at all?
Well, I know you and Andrew kind of like trade when it comes to running like the big campaigns. Would you have rather been a player in this campaign, or are you glad you DM'd it?
I'm glad I DM'd it. I had a
Yeah.
fucking blast. You can ask Andrew. I still remember I was driving to Miami, listening to the podcast when they were releasing this game. And as soon as
Oh
they
my
mentioned the
fucking
new
God.
adventure, I was like, Kristen, I like pulled my phone. I was like, because I was driving, I was like, text Andrew that I called dibs on descending to Avernus.
Threw it at her
It was
face.
it was no shit like a quick draw and like on the chat Kristen said like, oh, Jose calls dibs on Avernus. I was like, fuck. Just like all caps.
Because if you think about it, Avernus is very Andrew. Like Andrew is like heavy metal, devils, like all this kind of stuff. But like I was listening because the way they released it is that they play some short adventures and then they talked about it. And the short adventures were so the one they played was in Mad Maggie's, that little area with the Kenkus. They played that, and then one in the Fortress of Serial. And I'm like, there's that fucking art. What? So when they release, this ends to Avernus coming up next, whatever. I'm like, fucking call dibs. And just throw the phone at Kristen, and she's like,
Oh my god.
It all worked out though because Ryan of the Frost Maiden is even more me.
yeah.
Good. Okay.
And it's funny because like Andrew, he texted me and he's like, I'm gonna be known as the horror DM, aren't I?
No. I said I'm going to be the DM of this one particular thing.
Oh
You
yeah.
will know what it is.
Once we play. But yeah, so yes,
Terror?
that to tell you.
No.
nah, it's
You'll know what it is.
So well.
Metal?
So yes, so
No.
I'm so glad that I ran it.
Sadism.
I feel like I would have had a good time playing it, but honestly, like the whole time I would have been like, this is because I love big epics.
Mhm.
Waterdeep was not my thing at all. That very granular,
Oh my
I could
God.
tell.
every
too.
day-to-day thing. Like it's interesting to me, but it's more like flavor. If you ever happen to stop at Waterdeep, I love the world is gonna end, and when I heard that a fucking city disappeared, I'm like, that sounds amazing. How the fuck? Like I love the big epics. So hopefully that becomes a trend too, and I keep rolling, running big epics like that. So yeah, I'm glad I ran it 100%.
Okay, cool.
And we couldn't be further apart. 'Cause, like,
Andrew's like, how many arrows do you have? 15? Okay, just keep track of that.
okay, what kind of wood are they made out of? Hold on, this is important. What kind of wood are they made out of?
Oak, pine, redwood. What do you
It kind of
got?
also makes me wonder how Andrew would have run it differently.
Oh,
All right,
I
so
love
the humidity
a
here is
lot more metal.
87%.
I love more metal music for sure.
Oh yeah, just in the background,
Yeah.
playing at
Yeah.
all
They
times.
would have been like at least 3 more months of prepping just for playlists.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
100%.
What do you think? What do you think I've been doing for the past 3 months for Rhyme?
I
Every
can
like
only
devil we
imagine.
run into is like
It's like different. Like they
headbanging,
have their
all
own
the
theme
time.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
uh-huh.
so this is Dio, and then this is But anyways, so
No,
yes.
shut up, guys.
So yes, last one, Andrew. Any questions for me? I think you don't because we talk so much about the adventures. But do you have anything?
No, actually, I do have I like to think a pretty big question. So what was your biggest lesson from this DMing, and follow-up question, how are you going to apply that in the future as a DM and also a player?
Honestly, the biggest thing for me was learning to let things happen when they were going downhill. The first, and I'm gonna pull the curtain back here for you guys, but the first few adventures that I ran, every time it was going downhill for you all, and I don't want to take away, not all the time, I'm gonna say like maybe like 10% of the time, I'll be like, oh, he missed. You know what I mean? Because we were playing on tabletop, you were able to see my rolls, all that stuff. So I will fudge some of the rolls. The biggest lesson I learned is don't fudge rolls. Bad things lead to amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was my big takeaway. And the fact that you guys were so fucking excited to die in the first, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck have I been doing with my life? You know what I mean?
That was a good change of pace because, like you
Yeah.
said before, we were like heroes, solid hero complex before. We can't die, blah blah blah. And this time we died like 3 times.
Instantly, first
Yeah.
encounter.
The opposite of Storm King's Thunder.
The
where we
opposite
were
of Storm
all
King's
invincible.
Thunder. Yeah.
Crushed.
And to be fair, Storm King's Thunder was my
Crushed like a tin can.
yeah. As Storm King's Thunder was my first adventure, I thought that they'll feel better if they conquer all these things with very little challenge. But honestly, challenge is important.
Challenges are a part of life.
Yes, and that was my big takeaway specifically for this because everything that we remember was because of failure, and it leads to amazing story beats, and I will definitely every time a new adventure comes by, that's the first thing I'm not gonna change anything. If I think it's too hard, it's probably not, because something I also learned is that you guys can fucking overcome anything, no matter how hard I think it is. That's like
Just
a thing
gotta
that
let us
you guys
do
do.
it.
Yeah.
Or create a new character.
Or create a new character,
Yeah.
which honestly
Fine.
most of you guys enjoy.
Andrew loves making characters. So
yeah,
it's
you guys can
perfect.
borrow one from Andrew. He has like 20.
Yeah.
No.
It's on the file cabinet.
He's got his file cabinet.
And as
You
a
have a file cabinet, actually.
yeah, and
It's one of those ones that goes into the wall.
No.
like Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
And then how would I apply that as a player? Honestly, I mean, I think as a player, just fucking do it. Like I will just don't be afraid to just roll for it and play along with whatever happens. Oh, I didn't hit. Okay, play along into that. Or I don't know. I got trapped by whatever. Like just really lean into it. It's all storytelling moments.
Made you more go with the flow.
Yeah, more go with the flow / build upon it. Like build, like everything that happens because of the rolls is a chance to build upon that as a storytelling moment, even if it's just funny or even if it's like a very critical, like emotional bit. It doesn't matter. Just build upon it. Like I think that's. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I'm not afraid to just like, oh fuck, a crit. Okay, I guess you die. Like there's always something that can come off of that, even if it kills Lulu.
Okay.
Damn it.
Especially if it kills Lulu.
Especially if it kills
You,
Lulu.
you had to end on that note.
Of course.
Get players attached to NPCs.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think that's been my thing from the very beginning, so I don't think that's changed.
Question mark, profit.
And then the last question for all of you guys here is gonna be an easy one, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna point at you guys. We're not gonna roll for this one. If you had to rate this game from a 1 through 10, what would you do it? The game. Wait, did I write the game? No, the adventure itself. Not how the changes I made or how I ran it or whatever, but like the overall actual adventure. This will be for like somebody who stumbles upon this video and is like, oh, I wonder what people rate this thing. From 1 through 10, and why? Let's start with Andrew.
I would give this game a 6.66 out of 10.
Very thematic.
Boo.
All right, that's all the time I got. Make sure. No, I would probably give it like a good 7 out of 10. There were some parts in the middle where I felt like it kind of dipped a bit and and it got a little dry, no pun intended, because we were in the desert. But I felt like overall the story beats were good and had a really strong start and a really epic finish. So it's like, it was a good bookend for me. So
Cool. Alex, right? Yeah.
I'd say solid 8.5, 9. I really liked this one. I thought it was fun. I know the one small favor part, do this and then go to this guy and then that guy needs to go to this guy. It was kind of a drag, but I enjoyed it because that part it was more of the adventure aspect of it for me. So where we had to we had a mission, we had to go do this. This was next on our list and we had a list of things we had to do.
I also I want to add a little disclaimer. A lot of my score is biased because of the huge amount of buyer's remorse I had. So, anyways,
I should play this. All right, cool.
But yeah, I really like this one. From the battles to how the characters developed and everything like that, and from where we started, where everyone was kind of oh, we have new characters, we don't really know, and then to see what everyone like ended up as. Like we had 2 people change characters, which is like never happened in
Yeah.
our group before, which is pretty cool. So like just like having to like sort of reacquaint ourselves with new characters and like, okay, like Crad, we just met this random guy running in the desert, like he's gonna be part of our group now. We have to like incorporate him into like how everything is going, and like just like how that all developed was really cool.
Sweet. Heather.
So I probably rated about like an 8 as well, but I'm also going to say that this was your redemption arc after how bad.
Don't bring it back!
Oh,
Don't
man.
say it!
Dragon Eye.
No!
It's your fault. But
The
Dragon
unspeakable.
Heist was our actual
Oh
hell.
my god, yes.
Where was the heist, Jose?
We don't talk about that dark.
No,
dark
there was no
There was
heist.
There was no
What?
heist.
There was no heist.
What he didn't
Barely a dragon.
tell you was that at the end of Dragon Eyes, he was like, Andrew, please, dear fucking God, get me out of here.
Well, I'm glad
I
I was
got you,
able.
man.
I'm glad I was able to redeem myself.
I just, not that you needed to, because Dragon Heist is gonna be Dragon Heist no matter what. But just what a 360 from the like campaign where none of us could like really get into our characters or like what was going on, to a campaign where like I had an actual emotional reaction multiple times, where like it was actual highs and lows of character development and just interactions. Like there were times where you'd end the session after doing something terrible, and like because we didn't have those few moments of like cracking a joke or anything, it just was so much more devastating.
Yeah.
Like you killed Lulu, and then we're like, all right, we're done.
I let
Yep.
the silence linger. I learned that too. Leave the silence, like leave those quiet moments be.
And then pieced out.
Yeah.
That was the worst part.
Have a good night, guys.
It was a really
Yep.
long silent moment where we had to sleep.
For a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But like, Alex and I have had characters that are supposed to be connected somehow in the past, but this was the first time where we actually had a moment where we understood that one was going to be sacrificed for the story.
Yeah.
And like it was genuinely like an emotional moment for me. Like I was on the verge of tears because like it's my character, but like that's actually my spell.
I told Andrew after that, I was like,
So hard.
I texted him, I was like, bro, that bit fucking broke my heart. Like what she's, the way you said it too was so natural. I'm like, why am I doing to these people? I'm so sorry.
I know. No, it's like such a beautiful moment because you don't get to connect with a fictional world that intensely that often.
Yeah.
And like, what an awesome thing to be completely devastated by a campaign.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
job.
I'm gonna
Great
change
eye.
my score to an 8. You're right. This is pure D&D
Oh.
through and through. So
Okay, so
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
all right, Armando. I know first time you don't really have a lot to compare it to, but just
Well, again, I was gonna say the same disclaimer, first timer, but I'm gonna echo Andrew, and just basically again everything that I've said throughout this whole interview. I had a blast. This was my introduction to D&D. I've been wanting to be a part of a party and play a campaign of D&D since I was like a preteen, maybe 12. Never had the opportunity. I'm 29 now, so imagine how many years later. 17, right? Wait, is that right? 7?
it sounds
That's
about
right.
sounds about
17,
right.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't do math. I skipped math in college.
Your sales, not math. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to like crunch the numbers and then automatically.
You have a calculator.
I would give it like an 8.5 and 9. It was I did have a lot of emotional, more with Crad than with Cliff, because I mean I think that's part of like my issue. Once I played with Cliff and I didn't have his backstory or his personality really well fleshed out, and by the time I had thought of Crad and introduced him, I understood and knew who Crad was,
Right.
and I connected with Crad. So
Yeah.
everything that came after Glyph, even the cold shoulder from Karpok and Quintessence, and just the natural goodness of Varric and the aloofness of Oren, it just sort of like played really well into the fact that this character had been isolated for so long, and I just, I mean, again, like anybody watching this, if you're planning on doing Descent into Avernus and having a first-time player, know that you're gonna fuck them over for the rest of their lives, because anything that's not as good as this and as difficult as this is just gonna be like a fucking bore. Like I'm gonna be bored if I play like anything that's simpler. Like
don't play Waterdeep.
If I'm kicking butt across, like every time I engage and I'm kicking butt, I'm gonna be like, well, this is kind of like crappy. Like I want my life to go down by 90% and then my HP to go down by 90% and then try to like have to recover.
If it makes you feel better, Wizards of the Coast path has been increasingly steadily in the quality of their adventures since the beginning. So there's that.
So I mean, 8.5, 9. I mean, I mean, again, first timer, but I think that's pretty damn good. And I love the struggle. Like like life is a struggle, so fiction should be a struggle. Right. Especially if you're an adventurer trying to save
everybody.
The world from hell.
Everybody can connect with struggle for sure.
The total party kill, what was it, twice, 3 times, was freaking awesome. I mean, obviously, my first time, I didn't know it was so unusual. Yeah. But you guys referenced the fact that it was so unusual that I was like, oh, this isn't what usually happens.
Especially for me. So.
Right. Well, I was like, well, this is pretty freaking awesome. Everybody dying and having to find a way to like come back to like into the adventure or starting some characters over. Yeah. I don't know. I had a blast.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Howard, you're the last
one. Well, if we're talking like, I thought this campaign was one of my favorites. Just a lot of like people have said, the character development and. We really got attached to our characters and a lot of the NPCs. So that part I really liked. But if we're like talking about the book, like the campaign setting itself and like the whole story behind it, I'd say probably 7 out of 10. It's more of a personal thing. I don't know if I like the whole traveling around a desert until something happens kind of,
that's that middle chunk, man. I think we can all agree with that.
I don't know, and I think if I'm just comparing it to Curse of Strahd, where like everything was interesting, like every single village had something really.
Finally, somebody praises Andrew.
Like, the setting itself is very like I don't know, and then like when we go to that the temple, I forget what it was called, the
Amber Temple,
the Amber Temple, like that was I'll never forget that. Like that was really cool.
Yeah.
This does not at all help my imposter syndrome, but thank you.
This is just me talking. I love the books themselves.
Yeah.
Writing them. I'd say 7.
No, I can agree with that 100% because I feel like every part of Strahd and even every like I feel like a Storm King's Thunder, every bit that you guys traveled to was very well developed. But honestly, because of the nature of Avernus and how everything shifts and everything always is not what it seems ever, and is very. If they would have come out with a Avernus setting book and then the adventure, it would have been a lot more fleshed out. But I feel like, we haven't done Avernus. Let's make some shit up. I can agree with that 100%.
Like, I guess a good example, we go to that spot with that giant sword in the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, we're there for like a little bit. And then that's why does that exist? Like, I don't know. Like, why are we here?
Yes. And again, it's the nature of Avernus. It's deserted. Everything that there dies, not a lot of people or living creatures there. But yes, I can agree with that 100%.
Yeah, there was the one part where we had to go back to Mahadi's and we're like, we have to find the Wandering Emporium again. And we're like, we don't know where it is. And I think I was just like, let's just go this way. I feel like it's going to be this way and we'll go around the mountain.
Yeah.
And this was like just after Varric turned into an angel. And like, it's got to be this way. And then we go and then you're just like, all right. And there it is all of a sudden.
I honestly, I probably could have done a little better with that. But honestly, the way it works, the way the Wandering Emporium works is it shows up where you need it the most. It's one of those things like, but
it's the room of requirement then.
Right. But the thing is that a lot of the things in this adventure were like that. Is again, it was not. Dude, I'm telling you, the way they describe the map is everything could be anywhere. Distances changes all the time. If it's far, it could be close. If it's close, it could be far. Like, and trying to
a lot to work with.
Yeah, and trying to portray that is very like. Okay, cool, but it doesn't help us. It's fine for like the first time we travel, but then after that, it's like
just annoying.
And then
at
you
some
have
point.
things
It's
like the
oh,
Wandering
okay.
Emporium, where like it legit is like when you need it, you know. Or what am I gonna do? Put it across the fucking desert and then have you walk that way?
A
But
whole
then,
session. A whole session.
well, not so much that, but the fact that if it's far, it could be close. If it's close, it could be really far.
Yeah.
It's very fluid, which probably a better DM would have made that very interesting. But honestly, I want to get you guys to the big pieces. I feel like the traveling bit is, especially for Avernus, it's very okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, and
I
it's
think
like,
oh, you
the
see
first
more
time-
desert.
yeah,
like,
it's
yeah.
look at sand, and it's hot, and
Yeah.
oh, you found, and actually I remember when Andrew was like, oh, the traveling is kind of boring. It doesn't feel like hell. And then like the next session, I put like a fucking weird wizard guy in the middle of the desert for you guys to be like, oh, let's go check that out. And you're like, nope, let's go this way. Like, oh, okay, fine.
Okay, that's true though.
I was about to ask Howard, like, what would have kind of fleshed that out a bit for you more? Like, would
Right.
you have wanted more encounters, or
I don't know, honestly. I just don't think
I-
I like
I-
Avernus.
I think what would have done it for you better is if more areas of Avernus would have been not interesting but engaging.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, like you said, a lot
Yeah.
of it were just like, oh, it's a fucking demon sapper, and that's it. That was probably the most interesting part. Then it's like, oh, it's a sword in the ground. And there were other ones that were just like, it's just a pool of ichor.
Yeah,
that's
like
it.
why?
Like-
Like,
Like there was
And
a
I think
lot of
another-
stuff like that.
and with Curse of Strahd, we almost had a home base.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yep.
that village, and I really
Yeah.
think we kind of attached
Yeah.
to it a little
Yep.
bit. Like, oh, like this is where we come back
Yep.
to after we've done.
And
all
I
our
think
stuff.
that
And
helps tremendously because it grounds you to where you are in Avernus. You're trying to get the place where you're from back to the way it came. You don't want it to be there. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I know the interview ran a lot longer than I wanted it to run. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your everything. All of this is great. Like I heard a lot of things that I didn't know. Pretty awesome stuff. Your point of view from a player's perspective onto the my side of the table. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sticking along. And I'm glad that you guys had a good time. You guys told me a lot of things that I honestly thought that it was kind of like whatever, but you guys really attached to those bits, and it's great. You know, I don't see that part. It really puts it into perspective for me. But I'm gonna end this interview, and we're probably gonna have to make this
can we
into
get
its
a round
own
of applause?
episode.
I think so too.
Can we get a round of applause for Jose?
for
Yeah.
why?
Like, my God, yes,
Excellent.
This was so good.
That was really
I'm,
good.
glad-
Yeah.
I'm just happy you guys had fun.
It was
Really.
a great
Yeah,
campaign.
it was great.
I another thing I learned is the more time you have to prep, the better. Do not fucking go from one campaign to another right away. And this shows the difference because I went from Tomb of Annihilation to Waterdeep. I was burned out. I didn't care about it. I just wanted to have an adventure. Terrible. But then from Curse of Strahd, I had like a whole 2 months to prepare, and there you go. Boom. It shows. So, but yes, I'm gonna start rambling. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And for our listeners, yeah, these are our players. They're awesome people.
Like you?
Well, we're not live, but you know, for the podcast.
I know.
So,
I'm kidding.
and then I'm gonna
You'll
leave.
see us eventually.
I'm gonna, and then we're gonna say goodbye to our players and continue talking on our regular episode because we didn't definitely record this in a different time. Thank you guys.
All right, transition.
See Jose here.
You gotta do the Star Wars thing.
Yeah, the swipe. Whoop.
Yeah.
All right, back into beer talk.
PowerPoint 1998.
Oh man. Okay, guys. You all have a good night. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Night.
I was spliced in there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's gonna be like shitty compressed audio.
yeah, they're gonna like drop it.
It's like that weird like warbly sounding. Like, gosh.
Yes, it said he found it. It is in chapter 3, bargain basement death saves, just for future references. But thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Kevin, use that. I kept forgetting. I never used it.
and do come up with contracts now.
Yeah. So now we have to do after the interviews, or we have to be. You have to. It's like, wow, that was really interesting, wasn't it, Andrew?
That was really enlightening.
Wow, I
You know,
learned
that one.
I
That
learned
one
so
question
much.
by insert person here was really good.
Wow, man. Oh, so nice to hear from them. Now we move on to the next part.
That one question by person was brutal. I'm glad you went right through that.
So So now I want to mention, and excuse me if this
And
was
please edit in the name badly.
just like me really close to the mic, Heather.
Armando.
Oh, it's gonna be great. We're such ratchets. So now let me go really.
Should we do that?
Yes.
Should we like after this like record all their names poorly? They're like
We should. Yes, I have. All right. So even hopefully it hasn't been already touched upon the interview that we haven't recorded yet. But now I want to talk about. I'm gonna pull this.
Totally not gonna be
Totally
recorded
not.
in the future.
Yeah, and I want to I'm gonna pull the curtain completely back here. I'm going bare naked and just tell you everything about all the things that I didn't like.
Oh, he's taking his shirt off. People.
Yeah, so just,
No.
a big black bar, and your face is just like. I can't concentrate. Stop. Okay, all right. So
they're in. He's not out.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So here's the big thing for me that I appreciate the guide that I found versus what the book had. So you guys remember, or you, well, actually, I'll describe how it was supposed to go down according to the book, right? After the Bleeding Citadel, it blows up, and you guys are standing there, and Lulu's like, oh my goodness, we have to go to Serial. She's over there. And then she points at Elturel with her flying fortress right on top of it. And she's like, she should be in her ship over there. Right? Uh-huh. So you guys make your way there. And there's 3 encounters. The first encounter was very similar to the devils that you first fought. The ones that had like the band. Oh, they killed Steven or whatever. So very similar to that. The second encounter was a little harder with some flying monsters. And the third encounter somehow was you're in front of Avernus. You're in front of no description, nothing. It was event 3 or something. You are looking at Serial fighting a Balrog. Like the you shall not pass Balrog. Like fighting it, right? And then she's like, you guys can help her. If you help her, obviously you guys win. If you don't help her, well, not win, but like you win the fight. If you don't help her, she takes him down, but she's hurt. But then she looks at you all like, oh, what are you doing here? Not like I'm being, petty about that. Right. But anyways, then it boils down to 1 charisma check. 1.
Okay.
DC 25.
Holy shit.
Which, to be fair, is doable at the level you guys were at. For DC 25, right? Because, yes, the blade... By the way, I kind of fucked up that on the session. Because the blade is supposed to fly up in front of her, but she wasn't supposed to reach right away. I kind of, started reading without realizing what I was reading. And then that's when you guys were supposed to, Serial, if... Because I'm describing the option as you guys were doing it. Like, you guys were going to redeem Serial. That was the ultimate goal. You guys thought you had to kill her, but no, in fact, you just have to talk to her.
Well, I wanted to kill her, but I was just like,
Well, yeah, so... And then you pose the question. One guy, one person, you're like, oh, you shouldn't do that because it's evil. And what determines if the DC goes down or up is if you have 2 NPCs. The first one is Lulu. If you have Lulu with you, it goes down by 5. And then if you have a second one is the 1 fucking Hellriders that you guys didn't meet because you guys went down the path of demons instead of the path of devils. So remember that big thing in the middle of the game that you guys were doing fetch quests?
Uh-huh.
That part of the adventure split in 2. You guys could either go... Remember, I think at the very beginning I told you. You can either go to this, the fork where demons are destroyed or the puddle where demons are spawned.
Right.
And you guys chose to go to the fork or whatever the hell. That was the path of devils. So you guys to meet a bunch of devils and blah, blah, blah. There was a parallel quest to that, a quest line, the path of demons. Very similar, different places that you go to visit. The problem is that you would go to the crypt of the Hellriders if you come to the demon side. And there you would have met, again, I completely forgot the name of the guy, this one specific knight that you guys could have talked to. I didn't detail read that section because you guys chose to go down the devil's path, right? And I didn't read the details of how to redeem Serial at the end until I knew that you guys there was a DC check, but I didn't read like the specific names or the specifics of that check until after you guys got the sword. And at that point, I'm like, fuck. I could have grabbed that Hell Rider and haven't met you guys somewhere else earlier. That it made sense.
Right.
At this point, when you guys already have the sword, it makes no sense unless I fucking put in the Wandering Emporium taking a bath and you guys just walk
Just
into
like,
it.
hey,
Hey guys, you know, falling thumb or whatever. I'm a Hell Rider.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you. Like that's kind of like late in game type situation.
I'm a super important NPC and
Right.
here at the 11th hour to help you
Right,
out. Yeah,
right.
no.
And that would have brought down the DC check to 15, 5 for each,
Okay.
right? So that makes sense. So with Lulu, it was a DC 20, which he rolled at 22. It was fine. I knew it was going to happen. But, oh, wait, let me describe how it was supposed to happen. So
wait, hold on. Was there a way we could not have Lulu with us? Because it seems like
she could have
Lulu was kind of...
She could have died again, and that was it. Because the
okay,
Citadel was gone. Yeah, when she died,
Okay.
if she would have died any other time earlier, like let's say a rock would have fallen on her on Elturel and she just gone, she would appear in the Citadel.
Oh no, Elturel!
Jesus Christ! It's just like blood everywhere.
Oh, this truly is hell.
She would have just respawned in the inside of the Blizzard Citadel, which would have been really interesting because like she was guiding you through the whole fucking game. But anyways, so it's a DC 20. You guys pass it, right? Let's say you roll well. Again, one roll. That's all it is. One roll, one person. You roll it. You roll a 20. You roll a 22. So you guys did it. She would have grabbed the sword, and I kid you not, that was it. That's where the end game ended. It describes like, oh, she flies up, destroys the chains, frees the companion with one hit, brings all of Elturel up into the material plane. Everybody's healed. Congratulations. She bows upon you, gives you a feather. Thank you so much. Like it was just one big long description.
That kind of explains why there was like that, like last minute, like nope, Tiamat's here now, kind of. Because I was like,
technically not last minute, because something you guys didn't really quite investigate, and truthfully, I didn't really like show it to you all. But as all this was going on, there's a power struggle. There's always a power struggle in Avernus, and everybody is after the position of power of power. The main two are Tiamat and Bell. If you guys, you could have made a deal with Serial as well. You could have been like, oh, we can work for you, blah, blah. Or, hey, you can let us go, leave Elturel here. Or, hey, we can take down Bell, and then you bring everybody up. That would have been like a contract type situation. That's another way that it could have gone down. Or you could just fight the shit out of her, take her down. But then after those two, then there's the power struggle really comes to life. Honestly, it would have been Tiamat's troops like Arkan and whatever, and Bell's devils just coming in and fighting. You guys could have tried to take power. It was really messy, or you fly off, right? Obviously, I could have probably fleshed that out a bit more if we went down that route, but we didn't. We went through the Redeeming Zerial. But yeah, it would have ended up just like a big old description. Boom, at the end, the game ended. So that's how the ending was. That's why I was like, oh man, I have something to tell you, because like that was it. It was like legit. It was like outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3. The bad outcomes was really long with fights and encounters. The one good outcome was like, oh, here's a big old description. Game is over. And I was like, well, that's kind of boring. So I read the guide, and the guy was like, well, you can do a couple of things, and that's what I did. When she grabs the sword and breaks the oath, or not the oath, whatever, the contract with Asmodeus, she regains her angelic power, but she reverts back to how she was right when she signed that contract, which was, almost dead. That's how Asmodeus found her. So yes, you guys got to protect her and fight with Arkham and whatever and them, and so I try to make it a little bit more engaging. You're like, oh, while she regains her power like Goku, you guys have to fight of the bad guys. However, the whole time I had Tiamat in the GM layer, because I was like, there's a chance that these fuckers are just gonna take these guys down real quick. When Which, sure enough, not real quick, but you guys,
and thanks to Hold Monster, we sure fucking did.
yeah. And then after that, I was like, okay, so she's gonna come to her realization, and since Crad was needed to do the whole thing, it's like, hey, Crad, Hell Riders, free the companion. I'm gonna go and take care of the chains type situation because she can fly really fast. So that was like the whole thing that was happening. Well, as you guys were like trying to get up the fucking loopy loop. And then, of course, because I described it, it's like, oh, Tiamat shoots out from her dragon and she's flying on her way here after a couple of rounds. And then, sure enough, she shows up kind of late to scare you all, which, I think I did a good job at that. And then you guys open the companion, and then I proceeded with a description of, like, the companion helps scare all the demons and devils away. He brings back Elturel alongside Therial, blah, 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 blah. So that was my biggest thing with the adventure. The ending was so, like, because I knew how the group is, and I knew you guys were going to do the redemption arc. That's just the way we work. There was a chance you guys could have done something else, but honestly, I knew you guys were going to do the redemption arc, so I went with that. But the redemption arc was just, cutscene. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I tried to polish that as much as I could. It kind of sucks that we had to wait 2 weeks before the final episode, or the final session. But yeah, hopefully that was better than fucking just a description after she grabs after a charisma check.
After a single charisma, God.
Yeah. Oh, and now the other thing I changed was, like, depending on. So I was like, depending if somebody else steps in and tries to help whoever's trying to do the charisma roll, like just say anything that makes sense, it lowers by 1 or 2, depending on how good it is. So honestly, what he had to beat was an 18, which is very doable. Right. With everybody talking and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. But he rolled a 22 plus, Flash of Genius plus 5, so he had it in the bag regardless. But just in case. But
see, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like, I know I don't blame them for trying to come up with, like, a solution that's, like, non-violent and pacifist and stuff like that. But a lot of these games, like, you kind of have to understand, a lot of people are expecting, like, an end game boss fight.
Right.
So, like, if you rob them of that, there's a whole lot of, like, wait, that was it? So yeah, no, I'm with that being said, I'm glad you did what you did, where it's just like Arkin shows up, we're like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah. And I wanted to, if you guys would have fought Serial, she would have, like, look at the demon shield and be like, Gorguat, I think was his name. It's like, you're here, huh? And just, like, grab his soul and, like, kill him. And then bye shield. So since you guys didn't do that, Arkham was like, I smell demon. And destroys the shield in one go. Yeah. So that was fun. There was a couple other things, but I think the big one for me was the ending was so, and a lot of people complain about it. Luckily, the guide helps you, like, oh, this is a good way to take it instead of just cutscene. So yeah. So yes. Whew.
Yeah, there is. I might want to get a guide. The same thing for, like, Rhyme or something like that. Not because, like, I don't think, like, I really need it, quote unquote, but it's just like, how do I lay these breadcrumbs out for the players? Yeah. Because, like, the players do need to be motivated in a way, shape, or form.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah. Kevin says, he says exactly one way or another, you have to have the boss fight even though she is redeemed, the others come to fight for the power. Yeah, it's like Bell or I thought of bringing Bell and Tiamat, just like, and start fighting on top of Elturel, but it seemed a little excessive. Even though Tiamat herself is kind of excessive.
Yeah, I don't think I think that would have been really cool as, like, a set piece. Like, you have, like, these two, like, demons, like, fighting, and then like, oh, we have to take out the lesser agents, and then this kind of shows, like, we're not equipped to take out these big
yeah
so
yeah, for reals. But yeah, so overall, I think I will definitely give Avernus, Descendant to Avernus, a solid 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, but damn, it was a lot of fun to run.
I'd give it a 6. I'm kidding.
That's a player. What would you give it?
I'd probably give it like a 8.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Right now, I'm still in the afterglow of finishing the damn campaign.
Yeah.
Which
What the DMs experience and what the players experience are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Because like the post game for me for like Curse of Strahd, I was like, I don't ever want to read this fucking book. Everyone's like, oh man, that was amazing.
I remember you were borderline like, I don't want to DM ever again.
Yeah, like I'm fucking done.
Shit. But yeah, so let's talk about a bit about the things that we as DMs do for a post-campaign wind down, I guess. Do you go straight to another book or start researching things? Do you just take a what do you do? You just grab a cigarette, go outside, and just like take a deep breath.
I can tell.
Like Ben Affleck.
The only experience I've had was after a Curse of Strahd, and for Curse of Strahd, for like the first week, I didn't do anything D&D related. I just, and I mean, I'm not in a bad way. I wasn't like, oh, I'm done. I don't want to touch anything. But it was just like a personal like detox. Like, okay, I don't want to saturate my mind with this. Like, I just want to, I want to take a break from it, so that way, like the excitement and stuff can build up for it and whatnot. And then literally the next week I started making character for Avernus. So but I mean like for that first week I was just like, all right, literally just take a break. That's what this 2 week period is for. Just take a pure break. And that's what I did. I read, I watched some movies, I spent time with my girlfriend and stuff like that. Like
I saw my family for the first time in a year.
I'm alive. But it was just like nothing D&D related. Absolutely nothing D&D related.
Yeah.
So
I can 100% agree with that. And one thing I can tell you not to do is start another campaign a week after.
No, absolutely not.
That was one of our first episodes. If you want to go back on that DM Dungeon Master burnout,
you really believe me that the 2 weeks for some people it might not sound like a lot of time, and for some people it might sound like a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But believe me, that 2 weeks is like the perfect middle ground.
Yeah. For
like, okay, now I have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize. And I hope our players realize, but like honestly, when I was running the campaign, my routine was on Sunday, I would read the chapter, whatever chapter was on from where we were on forward until the end of that chapter. On Tuesday, I will refresh my memory on where we left off in that specific encounter, and then not all day Tuesday. So on Sunday, it was like 3 to 4. It was like an hour. So I'm making it sound like I'm all day studying. No. It's like an hour or two. Tuesday after work, same thing. I read it at night, so it's fresh in my head. It does that thing, that it like imprints in your head overnight. And then Wednesday, I will leave early from work, which I'm lucky that my boss is okay with that. And go through the whole thing. Open the map, cue the music, go through each monster, see what they do, like preparing before that. That was like my routine, which I love. I love this. I don't have a problem doing it. I really love doing this kind of stuff. But man, after 9 months of that, like for as much as you love it, it wears you out.
Oh yeah, it's a legitimate headache, and I don't mean like in a bad way. Like it actually does give you a physical headache.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, after we were done with the last one, just like you, I was like, I can do so much things. I have like 4 books that I want to read.
There's so much time now. You don't really realize how much time is taking up by prepping.
Yeah.
Until you run a campaign, and I'm just like. And like after Curse of Strahd, like I'm free. I actually said that. When we were done. Like I'm free now. And I just like got up from my chair. Just like it's all on you, Jose. Like this is your.
Yeah, it goes, and I start getting tired right away. It's like, oh god.
But I think okay. So as a DM, you take that time to detox, relax your brain.
Yeah.
Don't even think and I seriously mean don't even think
about
D&D.
No,
it's healthy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was as soon as we were done, because I ran like a one-off for my friends, right? Mm-hmm. It was still in my head, and it honestly until I finished the one-off yesterday, I didn't feel the full calmness of not having to prepare for D&D, right? And I have, and then I woke up this morning, oh man, I'm so good. You know, started reading my comics again, and then instantly started like, you know, I kind of want to play a sorcerer. Let me start reading that. And I was like, no. It's okay to have like a vague idea of what you want, but I'm actively telling myself constantly that I need to just step back, enjoy my fucking free time until like the next game or whatever.
Do not pick up a D&D book.
Yeah.
Let them. They're not going anywhere. They will be right there where you left them.
They're staring at me.
Believe me. Believe me. It is perfectly fine.
No, it's not.
It's a put it down, Jose. Put it down.
I just gotta smell it. I gotta sniff.
When I got that, Teresa's like, "Why do you have that book? You got like 3 other books." I'm like, "I want to use it. God damn it!" Yeah. She's like, "But what about the book I got you?" She's talking about Ryan. I'm like, I might use something in here. Like, you don't know.
It's always needed, man.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, no,
anyways.
for real. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I'm like actively telling myself to not fucking go that road.
But as a DM, behind the scenes, like make sure, like, hey, this guy, like for you and me, we tend to like, you know, like now we tend to like go back and forth. So like I think it was like 10 sessions ago or something like that. You're like, hey, we're coming up near the end of the campaign. You might want to start reading Rhyme. So I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to read Rhyme. Right. Or I had been reading Rhyme. I've been like, you know, kind of, and so now this 2-week period, now I'm really going over it. I'm going to try to read it cover to cover and like make notes like, okay, this is this and blah, blah, blah. So, but if you know for a fact if someone else in your group is going to, and this works, the 2-week, hold on. I should probably preface the 2-week period thing works because we have more than one DM in our group.
Right. Yes,
if you're the only DM in your group, you might want to take like a month or so off. Like,
which
not burn yourself out.
You know this about me, Andrew, but for me, I was like a month without D&D. How is that even possible? And like after that burned out,
it's not possible. It's necessary.
Right. After that burnout, that burnt out I have, dude. I was like, no, I get it. I can't do this.
Yeah. Burnout is not fun, and burnout is a really bad aftertaste where like it kind of taints like D&D, or you're just like,
not just for you, but for the players too.
Yeah, for everybody else, because if the DM's burnt out, everyone's gonna feel it because he's not gonna be as passionate or like, you know, as so. And it's just like it's gonna be no D&D is better than bad D&D.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we're lucky that we have. I mean, I know Heather has a lot going on, but she was always like, oh, I'll start. And honestly, if you said like, oh, I can't because I'm doing this, and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna take a break after, I'm pretty sure she would be like, oh, I'll do one of. But she knows that she has us to rely on as well, you know. But yes.
Well, I think the thing is that knowing our dynamic, because we know you can run a campaign start to finish, no problems. Me, like I tend to get burnt out about halfway through. I'm like, okay, I might need to take a break. So then that's where like Heather comes in, like, okay, well then I'll run a session of this and blah blah blah. So then as these like kind of like DM sort of dynamic, we can communicate and be like, hey, look, I'm not feeling so good. Like not like I'm sick. Something which is like it's just like,
no,
hey,
you still have to DM if you're sick.
I did one time. I did DM. I'm like, okay, guys, we are cutting this off at 9:30 because I am taking NyQuil. So, anyways, but I mean, but communicate and like let them know like, hey, I could probably use like a week or two off. Like now would be a good time to like run your thing or something like that. Yeah, and just definitely communicate. If you have other DMs in the group and they've been like saying, hey, I want to run this, blah blah blah. Don't stamp that out. Nourish it and be like, yeah, dude, that's great. Because then, you know, it kind of helps everybody out. It's kind of like a weird like crop rotation thing where like everybody benefits from that. So definitely communicate with other potential DMs in your group.
Yep. And honestly, for me, like I love, and I think it's been developing naturally for our group that once like I'm done, right, I can feel it. Even though we don't do it, I can feel like, here you go, Andrew. It's your responsibility now, right?
The mantle is yours now.
And like, it's all on him. Like, you know, like we were talking earlier about like inviting people and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's all you, man. Whoever you want to invite, how many people you want to invite. I'll take care of the technology stuff and like get ready for the stream. But that's like no big deal for me, you know, but I don't have to think about it.
But that dynamic is really healthy because you're like, okay, this is what he sees as a DM.
Yeah.
And this is what I experience as a player. And now I'm on the other side of the screen. I know what to deliver.
Yeah.
And what to expect. You know, it's just like, you know, like the sense of perspective, it really helps out.
Yeah.
You know, so
100%.
I'm really lucky with it, with what we have.
Yeah.
Right now, where it's like I'm not the forever DM,
oh my
or
God,
you're not the forever DM
I'm so
anymore.
Ever since after Barovia, I've been like, I'm no longer the forever DM. I was brought back to life. The curse have been lifted. Yeah, because around that time, Heather also was like, "Oh, I want to help." So now we have a very secret DM, Dungeon Master Facebook channel. Hey, if you step up to the plate, you get to be invited.
They don't know about the Illuminati that we've set up with other DMs.
Oh, man. Oh, shit.
We must keep them uneducated.
Yes. So we talked about Avernus. We both had a good time on it. I found the flaws. I tried to fix the flaws. But I think I love epics. I know you were more into like the granular, like, you know, not scary, but like very like intimate adventures. And I'm like, the end of the world is happening. Let's go.
The weird thing is that like I'm not super duper into horror, but it's just like I read Rhyme and I'm just like, oh god damn it. Okay, I'm gonna be fucking pigeonholed into this role.
Watch, because I don't even know the adventure that's coming out this holiday, but I already called dibs in it, right? And it's gonna be like another.
The next one's gonna be a horror theme,
right? It's gonna be something along the lines of like, I don't know. We went to Avernus, so now we're going to deeper into the Nine Hells or something. I don't know. It's gonna be something insane. And then the next one's gonna be Curse of Strahd, part 2.
No, it's gonna be like, it's just a jaunt into a normal village. Mind flayers.
Yeah.
God damn it. Why me? Why fucking me? And there's actually, for session 0 for Rhyme, I'm gonna be like, okay, so tell me if you heard this one before, because there is definitely some overlap with Rhyme and Curse of Strahd, where I'm like, are you fucking serious?
That's awesome.
I am the DM of the super specific campaign thing, like factor.
I can't wait to search for session 0. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's just like, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when we get into session 0.
Okay, I can't wait. Oh man, oh Jesus. So yeah, so that was pretty much what we experienced as DMs, and again we have this cool dynamic that we can flip back and forth to keep us sane, really. So Andrew, with all that being said, we still have to do the session highlights, even though
what the fuck, we just went over
that was like a campaign highlight.
We just went over the whole campaign.
No, specifically last session. I have mine. Do you have yours?
My personal highlight, and this is going to be skewed because it involves my character.
Okay.
Was that like TMS shows up with Arkan and like the Minotaur and blah blah blah, and everyone's like, "All right, we got to get up to the companion and like use these rods and blah blah blah." So Orin, you're gonna go first and blah. And I'm like, guys, does nobody see this huge 5-headed queen of hold the phone. Hold on a second. I feel like
the token is like this big
this
on the map. It's like,
yeah, and everyone's just like, yeah, it's fine. We'll just yada 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 over that part. I'm like, hold the phone.
I like to imagine that, like, fucking Tiamat, I am the queen of dragons here to reclaim my realm. And, like, the camera zooms out, and it's like the team looking away from her, planning their next step.
Yeah, and they're like football huddling.
Yeah.
And, like around, and Karpak's just like...
Yeah, you're in between the two, you're like...
And I'm just like... Guys. Guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here.
Nobody was paying attention.
Guys, yeah, and it was just like, all right, break. And they were just like, guys, all right, I guess I'm fighting this thing by myself.
Just imagine, this massive belly of a freaking...
And it's just like, Karpak, that's not part of the plan. Like, we never went over the plan. Just swinging his halberd around.
I think my session highlight from there was, so it's not part of the original adventure, but Serial summons especially a spiral staircase that goes all the way up to the companion to make it very easy, very clear what to do, right? One of the
with neon signs
and arrows pointing up, and then
insert rods here.
What does the group do instead of just going up the fucking stairs? No,
why?
They decide to grab, which I mean it's a fair thing to do, but like they grab the, what is it? It was the Warforged tied herself to. Oh no, she didn't. No, it was the angel, the Varric, the orc angel grabs the Warforged who has the 9 rods needed to open the companion.
No. You were right the first time. The Warforged ties herself to Varric.
That's
Varric
right.
Grabs Crad, goes up, immediately gets smacked by lightning, falls back down. He goes, all right.
Wait, hold on.
That first time was a fluke. He
just-
goes up a second time.
Just so you know, from behind the scenes, I just added that for flavor. I was like, oh, lightning, so they're probably gonna get hit by it. And the roll, I'm telling you, the roll was like 14. The dexterity, it was super low. I'm like, there's no way he can miss that. Maybe one time, right?
Yeah.
So he gets up there, gets struck by lightning, lets go of Crad. Crad falls, gets hurt. Meanwhile, he's like spiraling down with the Warforged, just like.
I totally forgot that Crad is like.
So like that happens, and then I used something I learned from the other DM, and I was like, Crad, go kill Orin. No, Crad, I'm a Kerpon. Go kill Orin.
Yeah, I know. I saw you play that. I'm like, all right.
I deserve that.
Okay, fine. Orin.
So Crad is like, okay, I'm not gonna trust the Orc Angel again. I'm just gonna go and defend Orin, right? And then the Orc Angel's like, I'm gonna go up again one more time. Like, okay, there's no way he can get hit with lightning twice in the same spot. He flies up again. That time I rolled max on the damage. And he had 5 hit points left. So the Warforged's like, okay, are we doing that again? He's like, no, I ain't doing that again. And then the fucking gnome is like, I'll take the rods and cast Dimensional Door.
Oh yeah, by the way, just Dimension Doors up there. We're just like, alright, dude.
I love that the whole table was just like, you had that the whole time.
This whole fucking time, you could have done that.
He steps through, comes out to the top, lightning everywhere, but he's closing it. Because the thing is that if they would have just jumped onto the platform, right, they would have been fine. The lightning wouldn't have hit them. That was my thought process behind. But they just decided to go.
But the
they
fact that
decided
they were flying, above it.
up above it, and then coming down. That's just
Right.
like, okay. If they would have just like, oh, just whatever. The point is, he steps in.
They could so by that logic, they could have flew to the second to last step and then
Yeah.
they just walked up. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Anyways, but all I imagine is like the tiny little gnome holding this massive rods that are like twice his size on top of this platform, going by one by
just like trying to put them in. Just,
it's like lightning coming from it, heavy,
then, like,
heavy
Tiamat's
winds,
like,
Tiamat flying towards him.
and he's just like, and he's just like male and the female. And,
Yeah. Flips one over. Oh, this is the right side.
yeah. No, flips it over. Come on, flips it over again. No, there we go. That works.
It's like a USB port.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I'm gonna make it so it's like 3 turns. He has to do the whole thing. But honestly, it was like almost 10 already. So I was like, I'm just gonna end it. This is, I mean, I wasn't planning on doing any checks for him to actually get him in there. So I'm like, he opened the companion, and then like the angel, the Templar, whatever the fuck it's called.
I think it was a Planetar.
Planetar comes out and just with the light pushes everybody away, and then the game ended.
Which I was like, a Planetar? Like,
that's what it was.
That's the thing that's holding up a whole city? I'm like, Okay. Like if it was like a solar, like I would have been like okay
Wait,
with it. But
hold on, maybe it was a solar. Now you're making me.
no, it was definitely a planetar because a solar is red. I remember that much, but a
okay.
planetar is green. So.
Oh man.
But I was like,
that was definitely my session highlight. Fucking orange. Like okay,
that
guys,
was that's one of those weird like power gap moments where like, wait, hold on, a planetar can probably take out a city.
Yeah.
You have to remember like a normal person's a CR0.
Yeah. Oh
like,
man.
I can't help it that we're freakish Olympian superheroes now. So.
But oh man, I think it ended well. It's just the fact that Oren was like, okay guys, hold on a minute.
Yeah, here, let me use just the most mundane, like, all right, I guess. Let me solve the problem here.
The fucking gnome did the ultimate thing.
Yeah, and it was like there's all this buildup between like Crad like redeeming himself and Varric like I am now the like bearer of Zerial's sword. No, here comes Orin.
Here comes Orin.
If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man, whew. Yes, that was my session highlight for sure.
And I think it was really funny that like Orin like didn't realize like, oh shit, I can escape really quickly until a fucking barbarian was coming.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh hey, I need to get up there right now.
Yes.
So it wasn't until he had a horse in the race that all of a sudden, hey, I got this super useful stuff.
The whole time it was just like, oh, okay, everything's fine. I'll be good.
Yeah. I think wasn't that the fight where he did not move at all? He was just like.
Probably
like behind Zerial or something like that. He was like, hold on.
Oh yeah, because everybody like split to go fight different things, and he was
just like
he didn't even go to defend Zerial. He stayed in the exact same spot.
He hid behind Zerial.
No, that was Oh yeah, eventually he did.
He hid
for
behind somebody.
For the most part, he was just like in the same spot from the beginning.
Just like the laziest wizard.
But he fucking saved the day.
Sorry, he was pragmatic. He wasn't lazy. He was saving his energy for when he had to unlock the companion. I'm sorry for doubting him. But it was just like, oh, Varric, like I'm gonna like do like an uppercut slice and then like dice him in the air, and like Karpark's like, I'm gonna smash him in the side of my halberd, and Krat's like, I'm gonna smite him, and blah blah blah. And then Orange was like, pew pew. It's like, all right, that's my turn.
Oh shit. Whew. Well, anyways, so yes, that was the session highlights for the last session of the Descent into Avernus, and I cannot wait for Rime of the Frost Maiden. And Kevin, I hope you're gonna join us once again.
Everyone's gonna freeze to death.
It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna have to crack down the AC even more. I even have a cape that I'm gonna be wearing. It's gonna be just full on.
I got one of those big old parkas from Snuggie. It's gonna be hot as fuck, but I'm gonna
halfway through the session, it's just sweat.
Andrew, like my hair is just like matted to my forehead. Like, no, it's for authenticity.
Andrew, you okay, man? When I grab a tub of ice and put it on my feet. God, it's so fucking cold. I can't feel my legs.
Do you guys know what gangrene is? Well.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Andrew, do you have any news? I mean, other than we both got our copies of Ravenloft.
Yeah. Look at me and my peasant version.
Yeah, look at you and your peasant version, puto.
At least I got it. It's the same content. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Did I tell you about the time that I got one and you open it like this, and it was upside.
And it was all upside down.
Yeah. It was great.
That had to have been one of the first prints, because there was a lot of books like where the first prints were like, hey, Wizards of the Coast, and they're like, oh yeah, no, just send it back. We'll cover it for you.
Which, by the way, like the domains of Ravenloft, each one of them has a map, and there's a shit ton.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was telling Andrew before we started that this is a chunky. I mean, it doesn't look chunky, but like I have it next to all my other books.
For a supplement book, this is chunky.
It's definitely not. What's her name? Tasha's
Sword Coast Adventures Guide.
Oh well, yeah, we don't talk about that one. No, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It was fairly small. This one feels.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, this one feels like the DMG. Like it legit feels like an actual book. Oh yes, Kevin says that he will check us out. He will come and join us to check us out. Yes, hopefully we keep entertaining you just as much as we entertain ourselves.
But this just from skimming through it, this is exactly what I want in a setting book.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is the template for here's how to make your own adventure in this setting.
Yeah.
So that way it's like a good jumping off point for early DMs to be like, hey, if you want horror, but you want to add your own spin to it, there you go. You know, knock yourself out.
It's fantastic. It's a beautiful book. The art, there's a lot of art, like a lot of it, which is, I love when they do that. But yeah, but other than that, I'm still waiting for Wizards to like announce, hey, new book coming out in holiday 2021.
I'm waiting for Spelljammer, dude.
They're not gonna do it. They're a bunch of cowards. You heard me, Chris Perkins.
Really? Release Spelljammer.
You cowards.
We know you haven't. Edit that part out. That audio was really bad.
Honestly, I think Vecna is what I want right now. Only because I recently learned over and like there's too many signs. There's too many signs leading up to it. Or maybe I'm just
there's signs that
maybe I'm just paranoid. Let me get my tinfoil.
Yeah, I mean, like don't shoot an arrow and paint a target around it, but there are signs that something is going to happen.
D&D 6th edition. No, they're not gonna do that.
Maybe. I mean, there might be I would honestly say, and this is not me being like a crotchety old man, but it really wouldn't hurt for 5e to have a 5.5. You know,
the thing is, I don't even think they should call it 5.5. I think it's just revamp what's already there. Because I feel like the rules that we have right now are so open ended that all they have to do is refine it. That's it. They don't have to.
But that's why there is a 5.5. So that way it's like right. Okay, it's not. I mean, because like 3, like you can work with the rules for 3 and 3.5, but it's just like 3.5 is just a little bit more refined. So it's like, you know, like I like 5. Like I think if they honestly just kind of sort of fix the messy bits and like kind of refine around the edges, 5 point. I think a 5.5 would be great, honestly.
Yeah. Kevin says that some people are thinking Greyhawk or Dragonlance, which will be pretty cool as hell for sure.
Dragonlance would be cool.
Yeah,
honestly,
I would love to dive into all those classic D&D settings. You know, I'm a baby D&D. I've grew up with, you know, the Forgotten Realms. Maybe like a Dark Sun setting would be really cool too. That'd be pretty bomb. Yeah.
Or it's just like post-apocalypse, like we don't go on the surface.
I mean, that'd be pretty awesome. But yes, Andrew, we are almost out of time. Unless you have anything else.
Out of time. We actually went way over time.
No, we didn't.
So
no, we didn't.
We're at like an hour and a half.
We usually go an hour and 45.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you gotta include the super impactful and dynamic interview that we're going to be having with our players.
Right. Yeah.
Those hard-hitting questions.
The ones you mean the interview we already had, Andrew? Shut the fuck up.
It's already been done. Yeah. What are you talking about? Don't fucking ignore what I'm saying.
Anyways, so with that, Andrew, do you have anything else before I end the episode?
No.
Well,
look forward to Rhyme Session 0.
Thank you all for joining us. We had quite a few viewers today. Kevin, you are the best for sticking around and listening to my ugly voice and Andrew's unbelievably annoying tone. But you stuck around. And I hope
thank you, Kevin.
I hope you had, he says have a good day. I hope you have a good day as well. A good rest of your week. I think session 1 will be June 2nd. That's session 0, I mean.
Yes.
Yes. So not this Wednesday. Not this Wednesday that's coming up, nor the Wednesday after that. For the right? Or am I crazy?
No, it's gonna be. No, you might be right. Yeah, June 2nd.
Yeah, June 2nd. So June 2nd, session 0 of Rime of the Frost Maiden. Woo! Spooky.
Just in time for summer.
I mean, everything's cold and like I'm like sweating from the heat.
Yeah, exactly. Like the AC is like.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if I waited until it got cold, we would never fucking play rhymes.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, for sure.
You know, welcome to Florida.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed our small, impromptu review of A Descent into Avernus from a DM and a player perspective. Make sure shut up, Andrew. Make sure to leave us a comment, leave us a review on Facebook or iTunes or whatever the hell you are. Like the button, subscribe, do the little bell so you get a notification, do all that kind of stuff. Once again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks. So thank you guys. You'll have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
And
time.
join us later as we go into the icy depths of Icewind Dale.
Where we're going to make fun of everything that happens because that's just how the group works.
Cannibalism.
Yummy. All right, guys. Bye.